We are live now on TikTok as well. There, Real Talk. Good evening, folks. Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Welcome to the program and happy Thursday evening. Thursday evening. I happen to have a day off work tomorrow, so for me, this is the beginning of the weekend. Hey, it's the weekend, baby. I'm trying to see if I can figure out why, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. Why my what do you call it? My TikTok is always flipped. It's crazy. They change shit up on these apps, and I'm going to be the first to admit I'm not savvy enough to know how to fix it. But I think I just found out how to create polls in YouTube in TikTok, so we will end up dealing with that. But the question we're going to be asking to start out the live stream is the idea that Obama may be living rent free in President Trump's head. Where the hell am I coming up with that from? I want you to hear a podcast that was filmed less than 24 hours ago. Evil B Babu says, "Good afternoon, Tim. How is everything going? I'm working for the man like you are. Fortunately, my day of working for the man has come to a conclusion. I usually am done working by about 3 p.m. Central. So, but yes, I understand what it's like to work for the man. So, what I want you guys to hear in regards to this whole notion that there's a potential that Obama is living rent free in the head of former President, I bet in the head of current President Trump. Obama, because you always hear people say that, everybody got Trump derangement syndrome and Trump is living in your head rent free. But what about the adverse? What about the potential that Obama is living in Trump's head rent free?
Leader of this current administration is still very fascinated with you and your family, constantly bringing you guys up. And you've been out of office nearly 10 years now. How do you continue to keep your cool and take the high road, so to speak? Because we asked Michelle, and Michelle said we don't have to take the high road no more. We just have to be strategic in our approach. That's what she said. But she said we don't have to take the high road. But you constantly seem to meet the negativity and the racism with class, and it makes you stand out so high. Cool. But you don't just want to cuss his ass out, or sometimes.
I mean, the thing about it is, look, you got to ask him what it is.
The obsession.
The obsession. I know what it is. Yeah. What I obviously, have a room in his head.
Rent free.
A suite in his head. But first of all, when I was president, the last thing I had time to do was worry about what
somebody said,
or what my predecessor did. Mm-hmm. They're gone. I've got work to do.
You locked in.
It's hard to describe if you're doing the job right. Mm-hmm. Every day you got 5-10 things that are real hard, and you have to be constantly focused. The idea that I'd be worrying about
came before
somebody who came before and me trying to measure, like what's he done today? Look, constantly worrying about that is a strange thing to me. It shows me somebody who's not focused on the American people and the job they're supposed to do.
The leader of this
now that was Obama on this All the Smoke podcast. And by the way, Truckerman and Real Talk, you guys, Truckerman with that thank you very much. I kind of wanted to interrupt and show you some appreciation for that. Absolutely, thank you very much. And Real Talk with the Galaxy, I appreciate that. We're asking, does Obama live rent free in the head of President Trump? I'm assuming some of you folks may have heard that. Podcast has been featured in many places all over social media. I think The View covered it. Probably was covered on CNN. Probably was covered on MS Now. Absolutely was not going to be covered on Fox News. I guarantee the 5 is not showing this clip. I guarantee that. Now, if it was Obama, I bet if it was Trump saying the same thing about Obama or Biden, the 5 would have made it their first segment. But I guarantee this is not on the 5. But I want to ask you folks, do you think or do you agree with what Trump, or better, what Obama and the host is saying, that Obama not only lives rent-free in Trump's head, he got a suite, as Obama said, got a suite in his head. So we will talk about that. And I do want to ask you folks, obviously, with Trump serving an entire term after Obama's terms, why are we still talking about Obama from a Trump's perspective? Why is Trump still talking about Obama in 2026? Obama left office in January of 2017. And from January 17 to January 2021, Trump was our president. And then, of course, Biden served an entire term as well. So why are we in 2026 from a Trump perspective still talking about Obama? Somebody has to help me make that make sense. And it's not like it's a rarity. Trump talks about Obama a lot. Like, why is this guy still coming up? I don't get it. So, we hear about Trump derangement syndrome and all of that, but tell me, are we looking potentially at Obama derangement syndrome? Because I don't understand why this guy's coming up and he's been gone almost a decade. So we'll end up talking about that. I also want to ask you folks about a huge story that's, whoa, trucker, man. Shout out to you. Appreciate the absolute love, truckerman. I also want to talk about a story that's really big in the news as well, concerning birthright citizenship. Birthright citizenship, yay or nay? Now, birthright citizenship was originally created to guarantee once slavery ended that the slaves were going to be a citizen of this country. This was not something that went lightly, folks. There were people who were against allowing slaves to be citizens of the United States once they were free. Kind of like the white version of go back to Africa. There was a civil war and all of that. This definitely was a divisive issue within this country. So even after serving as slaves for God knows how many hundreds of years, there were plenty of people who were not going to let the descendants of these folks remain in this country. So it's kind of like, you've done your duty as a slave, you're now free, get the fuck out. They were not going to let them remain here as citizens. So they had to create an amendment, and that is what birthright citizenship is about, that's where it started, rather, that slaves that have now gained freedom and don't know any other country other than this one, don't speak any other language other than English, can stay in the damn country. There were people who did not want to let them stay. Just think about that. Think about how horrible that is. I mean, you got a slave that may be, when slavery ended in the late 1800s, going all the way back to 1619 or whatever, slavery had been legal in America. So you may have had a slave that just gained freedom, whose mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother, all of them were slaves as well. And you're going to take this person who was multiple generations down the line and say, you can't be a citizen. What, are they going to send them back to Africa? I mean, this person doesn't speak the language, doesn't know anything about the customs at all, but there were people who wanted to do that. So we're going to talk about birthright citizenship and whether or not you think Trump is onto something in suggesting that needs to go away. The idea that if you have a child or have offspring on U.S. soil, regardless of your own citizenship, that offspring should be a U.S. citizen. I want to talk to you folks on whether or not you think that should be eradicated, which is what Trump wants. Handsome conservative, ladies and gentlemen, the man with the plan, the five-time internet talk show host, your friend and mine. Put your hands together for the handsome liberal. I always love reading those. Just the way they're worded. Handsome conservative. Thank you for your support in that very, very uplifting intro. Appreciate it. Handsome conservative. Certainly put your hands together for that. Thank you very much. So getting rid of birthright citizenship, we'll end up doing a poll on that shortly and hearing from you folks, yay or nay, on whether or not birthright citizenship should end. I guess one question I would ask you folks is, let's say somebody is in this country illegally right now, and they give birth, Jay and Trucker Man, to Dinosaur. Thank you. Absolutely. Appreciate the hat and mustache. Yeah, Truckerman. Shout out. God, appreciate it. If an illegal immigrant gives birth on U.S. soil and the illegal immigrant has no legal right to be here, real talk, and in addition to the illegal immigrant having no legal right to be here, the country where the illegal immigrant is from says, we are not taking this child that was not born in this country. I want to ask you folks, what should happen to that child? If a baby is born in this country to an illegal immigrant, and Trump does not want that baby to automatically have citizenship, and the country the mom is from is saying that we're not going to accept that child, what should happen? What should America do? I want to hear from you folks. Last but not least, this is a crazy question in regards to somebody said stay with his parents. Well, if the parent is going to be deported, the country may take the parent back. Maybe, but then again, they may not do that either. So there's all kinds of ways we'll end up talking about that. But last but not least, this kind of is a funky question to ask. I don't normally, this is something I normally would not want to ask, but I have to, and it's going to be targeted more to my beloved MAGA more than anyone else. But liberals can answer this question as well. This is based on just a whole host of well-known statements and quotes from our 47th president. I'll give you an example of one, and this is what we're going to be talking about.
Democrat governor here in Wisconsin shockingly stated that he will veto legislation that protects Wisconsin babies born alive. The baby is born, the mother meets with the doctor. They take care of the baby. They wrap the baby beautifully. And then the doctor and the mother determine whether or not they will execute the baby. I don't think so.
Now, that's obviously Trump campaigning from a pro-life stance, suggesting that there were places in the United States where the mom would give birth, they would take gentle care of the baby, wrap the baby up, and then the mom and the doctor would get together and decide whether or not they wanted to execute the life of the baby. So this was the baby carried the full term. So what he's talking about is the potential of full birth abortions. In addition to this quote, I want to give you maybe one or two more because you'll understand soon what this last funky topic is going to be about.
They fail to educate our youth. Our opponents are using government schools to indoctrinate children, pushing radical transgender ideology on children, and changing the child's gender without even parental consent. Can you imagine that your child leaves for school and comes home and their gender has been changed? I don't want to get into the details, but it's not even believable.
So now he's indicating that this is once again another campaign statement about, gender reassignment surgery, suggesting that your child could go to school and without the parental consent, your child comes home a different gender. Now, if you didn't hear that, I want you to hear it again because it is kind of shocking that this was said.
Are using government schools to indoctrinate children, pushing radical transgender ideology on children, and changing the child's gender without even parental consent. Can you imagine that your child leaves for school and comes home and their gender has been changed? I don't want to get into the details, but it's not.
So you heard that. Your child goes to school, one gender, so in other words, you send a boy to school and a few days later, the boy comes home a girl. The point I want to make is, let me give you one more. Let me give you one more before I make the point, because this is a question aimed at MAGA.
Are the contractors who do the initial work with the reflecting pool, are they to blame for the current condition, or is it
No, we had vandalism. Vandals, they went in there with a knife. I was just told by the people over at Parks, they have 5 people are arrested and 5 people are under investigation right now. And it's a sad thing. In addition to that, we put brand new, beautiful grass all around. They put these massive letters on the grass. You probably know about that, right? And they said 86-47.
How would these vandals have gotten so close to do something like that? Do you have any proof of
I
this?
mean, we didn't have a lot of them then. Who would think that somebody would go into a pool and take a knife and start cutting it?
So he's talking about the reflective pool. The point I want to make, and I got a bunch of other these clips. I'm talking to my beloved MAGA on this one. Why does it appear, and maybe I'm wrong and you guys can correct me, but why does it appear that Trump can say virtually anything and MAGA does not require proof? Every clip I've played for you, and I got a host of other ones I can play for you as well, is Trump saying things that are quite popular, quite well known, and nobody's asking him for proof. So, yeah, and I see Real Talk, you make a good point. I don't know why I don't have that one queued up, because he did indicate that you couldn't cut this shit with a knife. And now he's indicating it was cut, voila, with some kind of sharp instrument. But what's odd about this is there are folks who are chastising the Democrats for making all of this fuss over a damn pool. Why the hell are you so focused on the pool? You got Trump derangement syndrome. You guys are just trying to say this to trash Trump. When in fact, President Trump made a big presentation about this pool. He indicated that Biden and Obama and the rest of the presidents couldn't get the job done and how beautiful it was going to be and how blue it was going to look like Old Glory. Trump made a big fuss over this. And now that it's one apparently bust, the same folks that support Trump are chastising the Democrats for making a big fuss about it. It wouldn't, if he had just simply done this on the low, yeah, a few MS Now or something may have made a snide remark, but it wouldn't be getting the attention it's getting if he didn't originally give it the attention he gave it. He made it sound like he was making a major, major accomplishment. Very similar to the ballroom. If the ballroom is built and it collapses or it has shoddy construction, it's going to be a big story because he's made a big story about it. Same thing with the Tribunal Arch, and if something goes wrong with the jet from Qatar, he's made big stories about this stuff. So the folks complaining, well, why are the Democrats making a big fuss about the reflective pool? Is because he did it. He's the one that done it. Yeah, somebody in the comments said that's a whole football field. Yeah, he was boasting about it's taller than the Empire State Building if you turn it sideways. I mean, he's made all these statements. We have a whole war going on. Why is the president on television making remarks about a reflective pool? Considering all of the serious things going on with the economy and tariffs and the war. He made a big story out of this. And now that it's not going well, all of a sudden everybody else should take a sideline, take a knee and not say much about it. I don't know about that. So I want to ask you folks, simply put, why does it appear that with MAGA, proof is not necessary? In the comments, Evil, B-Bye-Boo, wow, Evil, that is really, really kind of you. Says, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate that fitty piece, Evil B-Bye-Boo. Ladies and gentlemen, mega audience presents you the man that has gold. I don't know about that. The man that has the plan, the man that has the answers, that man that gets women going, that man who's going, you got me feeling crazy reading this shit, going to be on top of the world, present the best YouTuber, Tim Liberal. You're giving me way more credit than I deserve. Not to sound like Dave Ramsey, but certainly better than I deserve. In the comments also says, Trumpy Dumper ain't shit. He says he is not a low person. Trump is a very open person, which makes him look stupid, incomplete, dumb. There's nothing hot about the United States anymore. Well, Trump says America's the hottest country on earth. Blue One Banks, appreciate that. Thank you very much. Trump says America's still the hottest country on earth. So what is he getting wrong? So going straight to the comment section and to the box in kind, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 10K if you will. It had algae because they poured gallons of hydrogen peroxide into the water. Yeah, they've had all kinds of pool cleaning experts and pool, folks who do pools for a living. Appreciate that, Mike the Sailor. They've had all kinds of folks on TMZ and a whole lot of other channels. They've all stated that They know what happened with that pool, and it's based on chemical imbalance. And they believe, one of the guys on TMZ stated that he was talking about the chemical makeup of what you use to paint the bottom of a pool, and they were saying that if you use a dark color like the blue they use, it creates more algae when the sun bounces off of it and warms up the water. I don't know anything about pool science at all, but every guy I've seen that's on television indicates that this is not vandalism. And they've also, one of the guys stated that if it's vandals, there would be plenty of evidence that it was cut by vandals. Not to mention, how the hell could this entire area not be under camera? You're that close to all of these major landmarks and monuments, and you can do something like you can actually climb into the pool. And as Trump said, you can create a 350-yard gash, and nobody sees this? That's what I'm asking. Why? I'm asking my beloved MAGA. Why does it appear that Trump can say anything and there's no question or evidence required? Does anybody believe that? I'm talking to MAGA in particular. Do you believe what he said about vandals put a 350-yard gash to create this algae situation in the pool? For my MAGA viewers, certainly I would love to hear you answer that question. Do you believe what Trump is saying is accurate, that the pool is suddenly green due to vandalism? Let me know. So tap the screen, get us up to 10,000. Oh, now they are showing a lady next to the pool and blaming her. 350 yards. Show me somebody standing next to the pool, bending over, and probably walking continuously for 350 feet or whatever it was, yards or feet. It's enough of a distance where it should be obvious something is going wrong. It should be obvious. The person should be bent over because they got to reach in the water and create the vandalism he is suggesting. First he said 250 feet or yards or whatever. Then he upped it to 300. I mean, so you should be able to easily show evidence of that. That should be easy to find. So I'm asking some of my MAGA viewers even, do you believe what he is saying is true? Bama Landscaper says no. I'd be curious to anybody who does, because to me it does appear that MAGA is able to say stuff. And I mean, Trump is able to say stuff, and MAGA doesn't really require a lot of proof. And this is a perfect example of that. Frank Jamillo, I think it says, good evening, welcome to the program, Frank. They're always blaming someone else, not the person who did the job, who didn't know how to do the job. And that's what it looks like. The person who got this no-bid contract to do this reflective pool, big-time Trump donor. And I'm going to ask the same question we asked back during the Halliburton days of the Iraq War on the Bush administration. And this one is even more so. How the hell do you get a no-bid contract on a fucking pool? Why would you not take bid? Why is that an emergency when you need to get a no-bid contract on it, who just happens to be a big-time donor? Frank, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much at all. Do you believe it was vandals on that pool?
Not at all. Not at all. Because if you cut paint, how is that one little cut's gonna do all that damage?
Well, he's not saying it's a little cut. He's saying it's like 250 yards long or more.
Regardless how long it is, it's not gonna do that kind of damage. The damage is because of the sun and the paint that they use, because of the algae grows with sunlight. But what I want you to ask your MAGA, because I'm not MAGA, why is there more people being arrested for the reflecting pool than the E-Files?
That's a great question. Well, listen, Trump likes to win. I can answer that. Trump is an alpha male. He's stubborn when it comes to, he's very competitive. So he's going to be stubborn when it comes to competitions. And he's told people how great he is beautifying Washington, D.C. And he doesn't want to take an L. He wants to make it look like he's done a much better job than Biden or Obama or anyone else. So, I mean, he's going to, as you talk about, seek arrest and things like that, because he's trying to fight to maintain his own image in it. That's all this amounts to. We got a war going on. Why the hell are you on TV talking about a pool? We actually got a war going on. So I understand your point, but it's because of his competitive streak.
My to get away from the files.
I gotta disagree. I don't, you know, something, and I'll tell you why. I don't think that Trump is necessarily trying to deflect from the Epstein files because I don't believe it matters. I do not. I think that the folks are already. I think everybody already has their mind made up. If you do not like Trump, you believe he's a pedo. You believe he's in the files. If you like Trump, you don't believe any of the witnesses that are going to testify against him or any of the FBI information in there anyway. I mean, you heard that Trump allegedly told a sheriff or something about Epstein, and him and Epstein, their relationship ended. They're going to go with that. So it doesn't really matter what comes out of the Epstein files. I don't believe it's going to change any hearts and minds.
I believe you're right there too, but still, I mean, I still think that he believes that there's something very damning in the remaining e-files that he's keeping. He's doing anything and everything and lying his ass off just to stir us away from the e-files.
Well, this don't. I mean, some of these, if you want to say he's lying his ass off, and I'm not going to argue with that. These aren't good lies. I mean, like with the reflective pool, is there anybody like I even asked MAGA in the audience, like, is there anybody that believe what he's saying? That's not a good lie. I think everybody knows that's not true.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And like the AB when he said a woman and a doctor got together, and I mean, come on, man. I mean, I know y'all MAGA is y'all, but y'all gotta be smarter than that, man. Come on, man.
Well, why do you think people do believe that though, that a woman and a doctor gets together after she's given a complete term birth and decide whether or not they want to take the life of the child? People do believe that. When I posted that on TikTok and YouTube as a short, I had MAGA in the comments saying it was true.
This is how I see Trump. I see Trump as a rich toddler, and young MAGAs are the mothers that whenever the toddler drops on the floor and kicks and screams and cries that he wants this, y'all are the ones that are gonna be like, okay, you can have it, and then just go ahead and he's just gonna be like, hey, I got my way.
Well, he just got give a shout out to Trump. He just got his way on getting the War Powers Act that they were trying to shoot down. He just had a major win on that. He just had 2 immigration wins in the Supreme Court today, so he probably is celebrating, hey, I got my way. But before we continue, Handsome Conservative says, I believe the Democrats and progressives came out at night to the reflective pool and chipped the paint off the pool. So there you go. There's a conservative saying what Trump is stating has some credibility to it.
I can see that.
You believe that may have happened?
No, not really.
Yeah. He says the Democrats and progressives came out at night and chipped the paint off the pool. You know, the man made it clear it couldn't be cut with a knife. So even if what he's saying now is true, then that means he lied in the past when he said it couldn't be cut with a knife.
And I believe there's stuff out there. I mean, there's some remarkable stuff out there, and I believe they use that stuff. But where's the evidence? I mean,
Yeah.
Come on, MAGA, we gotta have evidence.
Well, good luck on getting that from Trump. I think Trump stated that the evidence will come out in court or something like that. You know, they have charged like 5 or 6 people with vandalism, and they're threatening to give them 10 years or something crazy for this.
Let me guess, in 2 weeks, right?
What are you trying to indicate?
Man, you laugh. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
You know
mean,
what I'm saying.
well, I don't think listen. I mean, they charged an Olympian or a former Olympian that was reaching down. I mean, the shit's floating to the top of the pool, and the guy said, I was just grabbing it to see what it was. And they arrested him and charged him with a crime, charged him with vandalism. I don't, just being candid, no, I don't think they're going to provide sufficient evidence because chances are whatever courtroom this is dealt with, the judge probably don't even believe it's true.
I heard him on the interview, and they didn't even read him his Miranda rights.
Wow.
So right there, that's that they they did that wrong right there. They
Yeah.
got to, in order for arrest.
Mama Clark in the comments said they have put a fence around the reflective pool. Is that true? I haven't heard that. I know they put a tarp over Kennedy Museum. I mean, what the hell is going on in DC? Why in the middle of this economy, in the middle of a war, why is there so many projects going on in DC right now?
Hey, you know what? I think Trump is going to use that as a safety net. He's going to say that the cop didn't read him his Miranda rights, so that's why the guy is going to get off. Trump is a bus driver. He loves throwing people under the bus. He loves it.
He's good at it. I mean, give him credit.
That's his best thing.
He's really good at what he does,
Yeah.
though. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you
He
got.
said it even openly the other day.
Say that again.
He said it even openly the other day. He said that he sent JD Vance to wear France. He says, if it goes right, I'll take the credit. And if it goes wrong, I'll blame JD Vance.
Did you see Rubio standing by when he said that? Thank you, Travel Man. Appreciate the hat and mustache. Did you see
yeah.
Rubio standing by when because Rubio didn't laugh at that at all.
Not at all.
So, do you believe?
That's how Trump is about.
Do you believe it's a joke, though? Do you believe?
I guarantee you.
Go ahead.
No, I guarantee you, Rubio is holding up evidence for in that one case whenever Trump does turn on Rubio, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. He turned on all the women already so far. He's turned on Bondi. He's turned on what's her name from ICE? What's her name?
He didn't really. You talking about? He didn't really turn on them. You talking about Pam Bondi and the pretty girl from the former South Dakota governor, Kristi Noem. He didn't really turn on them. He didn't turn on them. I mean, they got fired, but he didn't. I haven't heard him say anything negative about Kristi Noem or Pam Bondi.
But I mean, I'm just saying.
Ginger.
Even from his last term, he could never keep a press secretary. I mean, how many did he go through? How
Yeah.
many lawyers has he fired and put in jail? I mean, come on, guys, y'all gotta see. There is how much more do y'all need? The man can't even put a goddamn medal on a soldier.
Well, they're going to say, even though Trump can't put a medal on a soldier or some of the things he said doesn't look right, they're going to say at least he knows what a woman is there, Frank. They're going to say he's not trying to confuse what our genders are. So they're going to see him from that angle. Dan, appreciate that. Thank you very much. So they're going to suggest that no matter what you throw out about Trump, he's not trying to destroy the country like liberals are.
And that bullshit y'all have about transgender. I see it like this: if you put a grain of rice in a bag of beans, are the beans gonna turn to a grain of rice down?
I know what you're saying, but I want you to explain that for those who are listening. Explain that. Explain what you just said.
I mean, how much better can I explain? If you have a bag of rice and you put one grain, if you have a bag of beans and you put one grain of rice, are the beans gonna turn into rice?
Well, maybe
No, the answer is no.
Maybe the beans are young and impressionable, and they normally would have just grew up to be bigger beans. But because you've introduced all this rice and you've given them these options they never knew that existed, maybe some of the beans might say, I actually identify as rice.
Well, then you had rice in you in the first place.
You did good. I gotta move it on. That is funny as hell. I gotta move it on, Frank. Let's hopefully none of us have any rice in us.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. Good talk, Frank. Looking in the comments, by the way, tap the screen. We should have been about 15,000. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. Tim, why is it that you and MAGA care so much about trans people? Something that you want to share. I don't have an issue with trans folks. I'm just simply giving you what both sides of the aisle feel about this country. So if I'm talking to MAGA, I'm going to present to them liberal strong points Because look, a lot of folks ask liberals, particularly people of color like African Americans, why the hell do you always vote Democrat? I get a lot of MAGA that ask that question. Why the hell do you always vote Democrat? The Democrats ain't did shit for you. So just like me talking about trans from a right-wing standpoint, I then talk to the right and I give them reasons for why they don't get a lot of minority Republican votes. Same thing. The minorities think that the right is trying to destroy shit and the fundamentals of this country. So I'm giving it to you from both angles. In the comments, and by the way, we got an ongoing poll that I want to address before I read this. Jermaine75, appreciate the support. Tim, MAGA don't want you to question Trump, ever. Just go with his lies no matter what. Wow. I can't fight back on that. And thank you for your support, because I do. There are 2 or 3 issues that cause me to lose viewers, and one of them is questioning or criticizing President Trump. That absolutely is one of those. Truckerman, appreciate the love and support. Thank you. Absolutely, you've been very kind. Gangsta Grandma. Yeah, one of the things that causes me to lose viewers like nothing else is because I like folks from both sides of the aisle, all sides of the aisle. What do we say? Our calls go left of Bernie Sanders, so I'm having dinner with Q. We don't shame MAGA. We don't censor or limit MAGA. We let you speak just like anybody else. We don't censor you at all. I get MAGA that criticize me all the damn time. I read the comments and sometimes I even concede the point if they're making sense, in my opinion. But I do let them speak. I don't criticize. I don't censor them at all. I may criticize. So I criticize some liberals, but when you're criticizing Trump, you're going to lose some MAGA. As my caller stated, that is absolutely correct. There are MAGA that does not like Trump to be criticized or questioned. I do lose viewers also, minorities, particularly black people, for not always criticizing white people enough, or not automatically agreeing with a black person on what issue they may stand for. Like Carmelo Anthony, for instance. I got some African Americans that do not like the fact that I believe he committed a crime. We could debate the 35 years in a murder 1 charge, but I don't believe he should be at home eating cereal. And there's some African Americans that don't like me suggesting that you can achieve the American dream and things like that as a black person. So I lose folks for both of those issues. And then I can lose folks sometimes because I do give President Trump credit for things that I think he may have done that are beneficial to this country. And there are liberals that don't want that to happen. So some liberals get pissed off. But this is a free speech program. I'll take criticism all day long. I'll read it out and give you plenty of time to state it. So you don't really have to run away. I don't like to see my callers and my viewers go away, but some people, they only want to hear an opinion they agree with. So there's nothing I can do about that. In the comments, Alicia Bling says, I do. Free Mello. Well, he does have a right to appeal, Alicia Bling. And from what I hear, we probably will end up doing more lives on Carmelo Anthony and the Austin Metcalf case. From what I hear, Carmelo Anthony's team, I think they have upgraded his legal team. So hopefully going into his appeal, he has better counsel, because I believe he had poor counsel in the beginning. And considering how much money was raised, there's questions to be asked on that. DeAndre Tyson fucked up his first time and doing even worse this time. Explain that, DeAndre. He has a real dream team now. Oh, wow. If it's that good, perhaps. So tap the screen, get us up to 15th hour. We'll take the next caller. Well, I'm glad you can debate the murder 1 charge, because that's what he got convicted of, and he should not have. I think it should have been manslaughter. I think based on the nature of how they charged Carmelo Anthony, it probably should have went down like George Zimmerman did. I believe George Zimmerman also committed a crime by killing Trayvon Martin, and they overcharged him with murder 1 when I don't believe George Zimmerman sought out to just kill Trayvon. His actions were bad. He was stupid and wrong for what he did, but I don't think he wanted to just kill Trayvon Martin. The circumstances he got himself into wrongfully led to that happening. Manslaughter or murder 2 or something like that. But they charged him with murder one. Jury found George Zimmerman not guilty, and I think a similar outcome based on the wrong charge should have went that way for Carmelo Anthony. But they did have manslaughter on the table for Carmelo Anthony, so I don't know how he ended up with a murder one charge. To me, that seems wrong. In the comments, hey, Unc, you get a real job. We don't need politicians. Everyone today is a politician. Well, I don't know who Unc is because I got a real job and I'm certainly not a politician. You cannot please all for sure. What did you just say? That is true. We just really need to mind our business. Whoever wants to, everybody wants to be personally is their own business in the right, wants to lie and act like somebody shoving something down their throat. That is a very common statement that comes from the right is you're shoving something down my throat. You do hear that a lot from the right. Going back to the box, we'll make it happen with Gangsta Grandma. Good evening, Gangsta. Is President Obama living rent-free in Trump's head? What say you?
Wait a minute, well, say that again.
Is President Obama, former President Obama, living rent-free in President Trump's head?
Oh, hell yeah. He don't like that black man.
Why do you say that?
Oh, my God. Because everything this motherfucker does, he always had to bring the black man up in it, man. Like, damn, fool. He can't even get a decent-ass wife. Now he's going after Obama. Come on now.
What do you mean he can't get a decent wife? Trump has Melania Trump. What do you mean? She's decent.
Her coochie's tore up on the floor.
You need to
She's
stop
an
that.
prostitute.
You need to stop
She's a
that.
sex porn star. Sex porn star. I don't even respect shit, man. What the fuck? Like I said, honey, like if somebody ever told me to go to uncooked meat, you know what I mean? I'll say hell to the fuck to the no. No, see, I tell you motherfuckers will fuck anything. Not lesbians, not all bisexual asses. We don't fuck on anything, okay? Shit, you know.
Well, you and I vehemently disagree on this. I've seen the nude pictorial of Melania Trump just like you have, and I think she looks fine.
Honey, I see badass bitches. You feel me? I mean, I see bad baddies. Like, damn, booyah cuz titties, booyah cuz ass, the coochie fire. I seen that shit. That turned me out like, damn, why are you even bisexual?
Oh my!
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you something now.
I never seen no hot shit. Oh, hell no.
Let me ask you
Nah,
something.
I'm good.
Let me ask you a question because I know you were in the hospital this weekend when we talked last, and there's a comment in the comment section. I don't know if it's meant for me or you, but I know because you had an accident. Pizza Lover asked a question, and he doesn't indicate who it's to, but he says, "Why do you keep waking up?" But how do you take
Once
it?
I keep what up?
Why do you keep waking up?
Why does his mama keep waking up? And why is he even on the planet Earth?
Well,
You know what I mean? Like, I say, shit, you're a waste of a fucking nut, man. Like, your mama should have swallowed you.
well,
Like, damn.
I don't know what
You know,
this thing.
and you know what? And let me tell you something. I don't argue with people that should have been swallowed. So he can go keep on. You feel what I'm saying? Like, pizza, I mean, you look at his name, Pizza Lover. Like, what?
What's wrong with
He's probably a
I love
he's
pizza.
Probably a fat fuck. He's probably a fat fuck that can't even roll out of fucking bed. And he needs somebody to wipe his own ass. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
What's wrong with loving pizza? I love pizza, and Pizza Lover in the comments said that don't make any sense.
That's like a big, morbidly obese motherfucker that can't even get out of bed on time. That he has to got 18 fucking pizzas. He probably doesn't got nobody to fuck because he's that obese. His little pinky winky is like his belly is bigger than his little pinky winky. Don't come for me. Please don't come for me.
Well, he might have been coming for me. I don't know. Pizza Lover, feel free to.
No, he's trying. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna waste my time with him. How you been? my little Kermit the Frog. You know what, Tim? You are the most fluffing ass Negro I ever did meet in my fucking life.
How so? In what way?
Because you be fluffing for the white man. I mean, what has the white man ever did to you? You know what I mean?
They haven't done anything wrong to me, if that's the case.
Yeah, you like it in the ass, huh? Yeah.
Wait. Hold on. You do realize that there are plenty of African Americans that have met their demise or been victimized by more other African Americans than they have white people. I mean, I'm going to...
Shut your ugly ass white teacher ass up.
Why the hell you got to go there?
You realize the most violent crime in the United States is 85% of white people. 80% is with us. And we're right behind them, I ain't gonna lie. But we're right behind them. If you're in a black hood, you will be a black victim. If you're in a white tee hood, you'll be a white tee victim. But unfortunately, the white tee kids be going all over the place, peering up our damn schools.
So
What are you talking about, Willis?
So let me ask it to you this way: if you are an African American living in an African American neighborhood, would it not make more sense to be talking about other black people, considering you're not likely to be victimized by anybody white?
You know what, Tim? Why do you always do this? Why do you cake for the white team?
How the hell is that caking? That's a fact. That's a fact.
There's white on white crime. There's black on black crime. There's Mexican on Mexican crime. You know what? But the only white people always brings up black on black crime. But it's them that does the most. So what the hell are you talking about? So stop with the white cock in your mouth.
No, what I'm asking is a simple question. If you are in an all-black neighborhood where you're more likely to be victimized by another black person, does it make sense for you to be focusing all your energy on white people that you don't live around?
They're the ones that's doing them. Tim, comprehend this.
Please help me. Help me comprehend it.
85% of violent crime is happening from white people. Only 80% is with us. We're right behind them. I'm not saying it's good, but still, we're not the number one. Do you know they just busted an 18-year-old white kid up at a university in California? I forgot where because I was high as hell. That just peed up the school. And guess who that was? White T.
Yeah, but you're
so
talking
with the bullshit, man.
You're talking
white
about
crime is worse than black on black crime.
But
yes, it is.
You're talking about per capita the entire country. I'm saying if you live in the inner city,
It's
proximity. Right.
Tim.
So if it goes by proximity,
Yes, master.
if it goes
Yes,
by
master. Go get the whips, master. You house ninja. I swear to God, you did. I swear to God, you did vote.
I'm
for
trying to
I
ask
swear
you a
to God, did vote
question.
for him.
If it goes by proximity, and you're and what's in proximity to you are a lot of other black people, why the hell are you talking about white crime?
Why the hell does the white people talk about black crime?
Maybe they need to control that as well, but I'm asking
You need
you.
to shut the fuck up. What don't you think? Yes, master, be a good little Negro. And go get him some water. That's what you guys are good for, that voted for his sorry ass.
You draw the
You
wildest.
got a little house nigga.
You draw the wildest comments. Handsome Conservative says every time I come on. Hang on. Handsome Conservative says every time I come on this damn show, somebody is disrespecting us poor innocent white people. You're that person.
Poor innocent white people. Right there. I'll be there. Poor innocent white people. I'll be there. The innocent white people that was peeping up our churches, the innocent white people that's unaliving our babies, the innocent white people that can't even comprehend a damn sentence and voted for a billionaire and now crying on TV that he's doing us so wrong. Did you see that poor white woman, that old ass woman? I voted for him and I thought he was going to do good.
Ain't nobody unaliving your babies that are white. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Do you realize ABs? Okay, 56% of ABs is white tea married women. Did you know that? That's why they're coming after their asses. That's why they want to breed.
What do you?
Because they are the ones that are unaliving their fetuses.
Are you pro-life?
Yep.
Oh, you want those? You
Hell
want?
no.
Wait.
I'm pro-choice.
Well, then why are you complaining about white women taking the lives of the unborn?
Because they're coming after us, though. Do you understand?
How the hell are they coming after us? In what way?
They had a dead woman in Georgia being an incubator to a black baby. She was pregnant, and they had that baby in a dead body because of what? Of the AB law. Give me a damn break.
But
It's all behind white tea women.
that's not racial, gangster grandma. If a white woman was in that same it's not. Because if a white woman was in that same situation, there are white women that are being denied the procedure as well. You're wrong.
Tim, no. Tim,
Yes.
let me break this shit down to you. Let me break this shit down to the uneducated baboon over here. Let me break this shit down one more fucking time for you, okay? The ABs, they're swearing up and down that the white tea man is going bye-bye. They're going extinct. And it's not true. They're going to still be around. Do you feel what I'm saying?
That ain't what I'm talking
But
about.
the people that are in our country, yes, they are. They're thinking that is because why, Tim? Oh, my God, they're going bye-bye. So they want the white tea women to have more babies. White babies, okay? That's why they're coming so hard. They're coming so hard.
So what are you saying? They want
Most of ABs are from white women, Tim.
So what are you saying? They want more white children, so they're going to let the black women continue having the ABs and just prevent white women from doing it? What are you saying?
Oh, my God, Tim.
I'm trying to get clarity.
They're coming after all of us because of them, Tim. They're going to come after all of us. I mean, come on, Tim. You're not that stupid. I know God, you probably are because you're a house ninja. And your mama fucking should have swallowed you too. On God.
No, I can see beyond the racial victimhood you're trying to play this. This has nothing to do with race.
It's real, Tim. It's real. It's in Project 2025. That's what you motherfuckers need to read, Tim. Read, for God's sake. Read. It was in Project 2025. Negro. I know you're not that damn slow, but you could be because you're drinking too much uncooked protein and you put it up your ass too damn much. You know?
Handsome conservative says, no, ma'am, the innocent white people that fought a war to free your people. What about them?
Let me tell you something. I never said I did not like my allies. I do not like the maggots. The racist ones are put us in this situation. The racist ones are in the White House right now. They're right now taking TPN away from Haitians. But they're not doing it to the white tea immigrants. They're only doing it to the black immigrants and the brown immigrants. That's the ones I do not like. The ones that are out there fighting and using the white tea privilege to help us, I'm not bashing them at all. Listen to what the hell I'm saying. But you know what? He voted for this shit, did he not? And did he not say that he's against women can't have a thing, they're controlling our bodies? Isn't he the one that thinks that immigration is bad? But yeah, he's an immigrant his damn self because this is a brown country before he set his white ass up on here?
Okay, I got to read this comment to you, and I'm going to read it exactly how it's written because I kind of know what you're going to say. But this is coming from Arnita Searles. Now, this is a sister. She says, what about all the blacks that fought and wasn't even free?
Black people, girl. Black people, girl. You are my homie. It's black people. You know what they did? It's called Buffalo Soldiers. You know what? They got lied to. I cannot.
I knew you was going to catch that. I couldn't wait to read that.
I can't even let me tell you, the ones that
Go
did
ahead.
fight, like the Buffalo Soldiers, they got lied to. Against the Native Americans, all of them got lied to, and that was fucking shitty of them. The shitty of the white T-man. Buffalo Soldiers was thinking they was fighting to be free, but they really wasn't. They was fighting to keep slavery, but they didn't even know that. See, that's what's fucked up about this history. That's why they don't want the real history to come out.
No.
You know what I mean? I really wish you guys stop saying blacks. Just you guys say black people.
I just wanted to read it because I want you to understand that a lot of African Americans use that word. They don't view it as insulting like some of you folks do.
Hey, you know what I mean? It's insulting. I know what blacks came from. I know where ninja came from.
Why don't we treat it like the N-word? It's a term of endearment. Why don't we treat it like the N-word? If another black person says it, it's a term of endearment.
The ER isn't a term of endearment. It was a lot of people got unalive behind that word. You know what I mean? Just like when I call you a ratty raccoon, I don't say the COON because that really is a fucked up word. I call you the ratty raccoon because you are one. You know, but you're the ugly version of one because the raccoons are fucking cute as shit.
Oh my God, I got put below. I'm being put below a raccoon? Damn. They eat out of garbage cans.
At least the raccoons are loyal, man. They come back for food and shit. They know what they were fucking fed. But unlike you go, yes, master, give me the whips. I'll give you some orange juice. I'll serve your white tea ass.
I'm sorry that I don't like to bash Caucasian people the way you do. I don't do that.
You know what? But they bash us, though, Tim.
Not all of them.
Do you realize they bash us every single day? Especially on TikTok, Facebook, in the news. Oh, this is what the black community is all about. Oh, the black men are deadbeat fathers and shit. And there you are sucking on it so hard on them. Oh, sucking it like you the big baby daddy and shit. What are you talking about? They always come for us. But the white tea men and shit, the ones that aren't not our allies, the maggots always want to talk shit about, our black fathers leave our baby, leave and make us baby daddies. When 76% of our black men are in the homes, or if they're not in the homes, or with their kids. What is the point? 76%. And guess what? There's more white tea men walking out of their homes.
Is that
So
true?
miss me with the bullshit.
Is that true? You say that more white men leave their wives than black?
Yes.
I haven't heard
And they
that.
leave their kids. Yes. There's more 76% of black men stay in the homes. If they're not in the home, they're still with their kids. Yes, it is.
You got the guy in the comments saying, I wish I had a smoke before watching this. let me ask you before we move it on, because Stevie D says I need an AI pic that looks like you. That then I would truly be the handsome liberal. So he's saying that maybe I need to look more like you. So
Well, you know what? That pic right there is AI. But my other pics on my other page is all of me, sweetheart. All of me. Sweetheart, I looks good, baby. I'm light skinned. I got hair and everything else. Cause your fat fucking white tea woman ass looking like that, fucking up. Black never cracks, sweetheart.
is it possible that you look so good being light skinned because you look like a white woman in the eyes of a lot of people?
I don't give a fuck if I look white, sweetheart. Because you know why? Because when I get out there, I am black as hell. Just because I light skin, you can touch my hair and you can tell. But I treat all my black people as like family. You feel what I'm saying? And I ride for my black people and my brown people. Now, the white tea people, I don't ride for like that.
Maybe you need to ride for a few white folks. Robert Kennedy says. Robert Kennedy says she is about as. Robert Kennedy on YouTube is listening to you. He suggests that you are about as stupid can get. He's not a fan.
Well, if I'm not stupid, I voted for the right person, and he probably voted for Trump. So that makes you uneducated, like he even says out of his own damn mouth. Yeah.
He is MAGA. I do believe he's MAGA. I gotta move it on, Gangsta Grandma, though. I do gotta move it
Let
on.
me tell you something, Tim. Let me break this shit down to you one more time. And yes, if I am slurring, hey, I'm on Oxy Tims. You feel what I'm saying? My back hurt. But let me tell you something, Tim. You are a true house ninja. You need to get out of the house ninja and get on the other side and stop caping for the white Tim, because they don't give a fuck about us. They talk about us every damn day. They bash black men, they bash black women. They're always talking about us, thinking that we're all the poor and every damn thing else. But unlike them, they're the ones that depend on a system more than any of us. The system was made for them. The welfare system, the food system, every system that was made for them. When we couldn't even vote, they had that system. So you need to cut the shit out, get the white cock out your mouth. I got chocolate cock and chocolate pussy in my mouth, and I'm proud of that. You feel what I'm saying, Tim? Now, can you get something else in your mouth instead of white teeth, cock, and pussy?
How about some?
Thank you.
How about some Diet Coke? Gangsta Grandma, thank you. Tap the screen, move the likes on up, get us on up to 25,000. A lot of lazy fingers in here. Tap the damn screen, get us up to 25,000. You can make that happen. Let your thumbs not be lazy. If you happen to be watching us on Instagram, TikTok, Substack, or Clapper, follow the program. We're here most weekdays. Happen to be watching us live on YouTube. Do your boy a favor and give us a sub. We try to keep it entertaining. Our spiel is always what it is. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their comments. We go left of Mom Donnie to I'm having dinner with Q. We are and always will be MAGA friendly. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome as well. You can criticize anybody on this program, including yours truly. The ongoing poll we have, which is does Obama live rent-free in the head of Trump? We've got nearly 200 over 200 now, over 200 respondents. 66% say yes, Obama does live rent-free in the head of President Trump. 34% say no. And it's kind of reminded me of what we talked about yesterday. 30% of the voting population, you're going to get on a lot of Trump questions because about 30% of the voting population are indeed MAGA. Why are we asking about living rent-free in the head of Trump?
Still very fascinated with you and your family, constantly bringing you guys up. And you've been out of office nearly 10 years now. How do you continue to keep your cool and take the high road, so to speak? Because we asked Michelle, and Michelle said we don't have to take the high road no more. We just have to be strategic in our approach. But she said we don't have to take the high road. But you constantly seem to meet the negativity and the racism with class, and it makes you stand out so high.
Cool.
But you don't just want to cuss his ass out, or sometimes.
I mean, the thing about it is, look, you got to ask him what it is that
The obsession?
The obsession.
I know what it is.
I obviously, have a room in his head.
Rent free. You do everything with grace.
A suite in his head. But first of all, when I was president, the last thing I had time to do was worry about what
Somebody said,
or what my predecessor did.
Mm-hmm.
They're gone. I've got work to do.
You locked in.
It's hard to describe if you're doing the job right.
Mm-hmm.
Every day you got 5-10 things that are real hard, and you have to be constantly focused. The idea that I'd be worrying about
Came before.
somebody who came before and me trying to measure, like, what's he done today? Look, constantly worrying about that is a strange thing to me. It shows me somebody who's not focused on the American people and the job they're.
So he's saying that the focus that Trump is putting on him to that level shows that maybe he's not even focused on the American people in the job. Dencal, good evening. Welcome to the show over on Instagram. Good evening, Dencal.
Good evening.
Hey, so do you agree with this suggestion that Obama is living rent-free in the head of our current commander-in-chief?
Yeah, of course. I mean, but Trump has a lot of people that live rent-free in his head.
Give me some examples.
He's got this list. He's got this list of people. Anybody he feels has wronged him, they live rent-free in his head. He literally went to, what was it, today or yesterday, went in there yelling, cussing at Bill Cassidy, the GOP congressman, because he voted against him or something. Like he takes this stuff
well
with him everywhere he goes.
He does demand full and complete loyalty. So, it's kind of like the old song from, I think, the movie Breaking, 99 and a half won't do. Got to have all of your love. I mean, he don't accept anything other than 100% loyalty. So that is our president. So, because the guy you're talking about, for the most part, other than voting to get Trump impeached for January 6th, he has been voting with Trump, just like Liz Cheney, just like Marjorie Taylor Greene. But it's not 100%. It's just slightly off, and that's enough for Trump.
Right, but it was insane that he already got the man, the incumbent, booted out.
Yep.
He's already out of office. He's just waiting till the end. And then he goes and invites the guy to the White House after he yells and cusses him out, sits him down for some little brief. Then Cassidy comes out with, I'm so happy that the president took the time to invite me and show me what's going on, and I'll be reversing my vote for what the fuck?
What do you think happened? Do you think he made some promises to him or something?
No, he probably just said, look, I'm not going to totally fuck you over in the rest of your life. I'm going to let you go ahead and, bow out gracefully, but if not, I'll go ahead and put you on the list. And
how do we beat that? Then, if what you're saying is true, even with the midterms, how do you beat that? I mean, because this is what I'm telling a lot of folks who think the Democrats are going to have this huge landslide victory. If the Trump administration says, fuck it, I'm going to order, due to all of the fraud that I have seen, I don't have to prove it, all the fraud that I've seen, I'm going to order Speaker of the House Johnson to not certify any of these fraudulent Democrat victories. How the hell can you beat a guy that can look at the law and just say, fuck it, I'm not following it?
I think he'd be setting himself up for a reverse January 6th, except for the people that come down there won't be there to support him.
Yeah, but even if the Democrats feel like the election was stolen and they go January 6th, as you point out, you're not going to get the same January 6th response from Trump that Trump's or MAGA folks got from Biden. The Trump folks are going to give you a January 6th response that looks more like something out of Iran. So I don't know if the Democrats. I mean, you see what happened with ISIS in Minnesota. They were not exceptionally violent in Minnesota towards ICE, and you see what happened to some of the protesters. So if the Democrats go January 6th, they'll mow them down.
And you also saw what happened after that when they had to kick Boveo, whatever that dude's name.
Bovino, yeah.
Bovino, they had to get him up out of there. They brought a dude in there who took all of the soldiers out and calmed that situation down.
Yeah, but they calmed the situation down in Minnesota by firing Bovino. But in my opinion, calming the situation probably saved the lives of protesters. I don't think danger. They were going to just send more and more ICE agents there, and that's what I'm saying. If the Democrats do not like how the midterms turn out, and they threaten to go January 6th, Trump is going to threaten to go Ayatollah on them.
I don't see. I see him as a monster, but I believe that he wants to walk away from this stuff with at least, his base intact. I think if he goes, he did a lot of justice after two people died. If you see in mass a bunch of people dying, you see what happened the first time when all of them lawyers and everybody in the White House sat down and said, we all about to walk out. And he changed his tune. Like, he does have limits. I know he does a lot of stuff that seems like it's limitless, but he does have limits. And I think that would be a limit.
I don't know. I'm up in the air on that one. I don't know if I feel the same way you do, because look, let's be clear. If Trump loses the midterms, there's a good chance the Democrats are going to go right for his throat. So he's a man fighting for his life at this point. So I could see him going much further than you're saying, because he's fighting for his own very survival. Real Talk in the comments told me to ask you, did you see that the House Republicans today are talking about the Save America Act? I mean, it's been a big story. You know, they're not signing the housing bill and all of that. What is your take on that Save America Act? We've done a couple lives on it yesterday.
I think he already signed. He signed the. I think he signed the Save America. I mean, not the Save America Act, but he signed the housing thing today. That stuff today was, all of that stuff about the War Powers Act. That was all. That stuff is useless because it has no bearing because now they're not at war, and so
That's crazy. They need to. I mean, like this kind of reminds me of Bill Clinton's when they asked. He said it depends on what the definition of is, or you just playing semantics. Like we're at war with Iran. I mean, just because we didn't hit them today does not mean a war is over. I mean, the troops are still in the combat zone. We are still at war with Iran. I mean, the idea that you didn't hit them. It's like me and you get in a fight, and because we're sitting in our corners, well, they not in a fight right now. As soon as the fucking bell ring, they gonna come back and hit each other again. I mean,
well, Iran did strike a couple of ships today, and they shut it back down.
they're gonna have to end up. What they're gonna have to end up doing is making a clear-cut definition to prevent bullshit like this in the future. Write down what a fucking war is, when it starts, when it ends. Write the actual parameters down so somebody can't do some shit like this again.
But the problem is nobody wants to do it because everybody wants it out. Like Congress doesn't want to really pass the War Powers Act because that means they have to take over this soup sandwich. They don't want to take this soup sandwich because whatever negotiations, whatever happens, they would be responsible. That's why they never did it under Obama. That's why they never did it under Bush.
I don't see how they could not be responsible now. If the man is talking about destroying whole civilizations and shit, and Congress idly sits by and goes, well, let's see what he's going to do. To me, you're responsible at that point. You had a chance where you could stop this, and you chose to let him sit back and do it. So, just like with the schoolgirl and the other shit, I mean, the fact that the whole Iran war broke out to begin with, Congress could have prevented that. They chose not to. I don't see how they don't.
The same people that be talking about Obama and he was the drone king or whatever they call him or whatever, they had the opportunity to stop him.
Yeah.
They didn't because they didn't want to be responsible for the shit. So that's all I'm saying. Like,
I'm sure they got blamed though. I'm sure plenty of folks on the right were blaming.
We're not sitting up here talking about shit. Pelosi could have stopped it.
Yeah. I'm sure the right, hold on, but I'm sure the right, and by the way, what Obama did by droning, this is like a whole another universe compared to that. I mean, he literally killed the entire head of a country.
I'm just saying that the logic that he used the same authorization from the Gulf War.
Yeah.
He had used that same authorization to continue with the droning, using that same MAU or whatever the authorization that had been given through Congress, and he continued to use that. But even now, they accused him of doing all this excessive droning. They went to court, and he used that. He said, "I'm using the MAU. That's already in place." And nobody could say shit, and then it was over. But you still got those same people saying what he did was wrong and all of that shit. They could have stopped it if they wanted to. Nobody in Congress wants to stop the president because they don't want to take the full responsibility of what happened.
I don't even know if I totally agree that they're not stopping him because of them not wanting to take the full responsibility. I think it's more they don't want to have Trump take them on. I think they're more afraid of taking on Trump than taking on the responsibility of fixing the mess. I think they're more scared of him.
Yeah, I agree. I with that.
So, but then at least my question me asking you again is, if the midterms don't turn out right, now I know you're talking about the potential for January 6th and riots and protests, and I do believe that would happen. I just don't believe it would turn out as well as you're saying. But do you think if the Democrats do trounce, hold on, let me ask you this. If the Democrats do trounce Trump in the midterms, which every fucking political analyst expect to happen, do you believe he will let the election go as the people have willed?
No, I definitely know. I don't even think I know it's gonna be some funny shit. We just don't know what it is right now, because I don't think he's gonna use the same playbook. Like you said, he does have Mike Johnson in that position, but I don't know. I still think that there are people just like Thune in the Senate. Like, there are people. Who was that? Tillis or Thune that's in charge?
Thune.
Yeah, it's people that's out there saying, like, he just gonna have to accept some shit. Like, he ain't got no choice. That's what he told them today about the SAVE Act. He said, I don't have the fucking votes. I don't know what you want me to do. And, you know, Trump is a businessman. He's like, just make it happen. And he's like, I don't know what to tell you, sir. And then he, you know, and he said it outside the meeting. He was like, look.
Let me ask you, how do you feel about the Save America Act? I mean, a lot of folks feel like, you know, listen, the security election, the integrity of our elections should be a no-brainer. Why are you complaining about people, you know, having to present an ID to vote? What is your take on Trump? Because Trump is saying it's a national emergency. To me, that's a bit strong, but I mean, it's a bit ridiculous to say the Save America Act is a national emergency. But how do you respond to folks who question, why are Democrats so much against presenting an ID to vote?
Because that's not what the SAVE Act says. I mean, we try to dwindle it down to a couple of catchphrases and stuff. All it says is you got to have an ID. That's not what it says. It says you got to have damn near a passport to motherfucking vote, which is an obstacle to vote, which is against the law. So, we can have this, conversation about semantics. Well, all it's saying, what you gotta have an ID to buy liquor. You gotta have ID to do this and that. That ain't got nothing to do with what they're talking about, putting obstacles up to voting.
Yeah.
And the problem is that a lot of Republicans down in the area, down in the South where I'm at, a lot of Republicans, who are older people, vote by mail.
But he's talking about getting rid of, other than for disability, military travel, what is the other one? Illness, disability, travel, or military. Other than that, he wants to get rid of voting by mail completely.
Right. And so, first of all, the Constitution say the states administer the elections. Yes, the federal government does have some oversight. They get to monitor the shit, but they don't get to tell every state what to do, how to do it, when to do it. That's not their goal. That's why all of these damn judges been shooting them down when he keep going around asking everybody for their voter data. You don't have no right to be telling everybody, just give me all your voter data, especially when you've proven what you'll do with that data once you get it.
Yeah.
He'll track people down and he'll fuck with them. But hey, did you see Trump did that interview with Fox News today, or was it yesterday, where he was sitting on the towel?
I didn't see that.
Bro, who in the fuck sits on it? I think he soiled himself. I'm gonna just be honest, bro.
Maybe somebody spilled water on the couch before he sat down.
Shit, not in the damn. Come on.
Oh, maybe somebody spilled water on the couch and he didn't want anything. He didn't want to sit in a wet spot. They didn't have time. The studio didn't have time to replace the couch.
Man, come on, man. I know you be doing.
Now that's fluffing. Now that's how you fluff. Now that is fluffing.
Look, he's gone on his tour the last couple of days or the last week in Pennsylvania, talking about the economy and stuff. And my problem with what he's doing is he's supposed to be going there touting what he's going to do for the economy to get it back going. But when he gets there, the first thing he says is everything is beautiful. Everything is great.
Yeah.
How do you convince people that you're gonna make lives better for them if you know the shit ain't great? You go to see the man who tell you what he's gonna do for you, and he sit there and tell you everything is great. He said we're in the golden age. We're
You're
doing
guilty.
the best we've ever done.
Well, I think Trump may have said this in The Art of the Deal or something like that in his book, that if you say something often enough, people will believe it. So just keep telling them the economy's doing well, or it's on the cusp of doing well in 2 weeks, or whatever the case may be, and they will believe it. Which is why anything that Trump says that may not be true, from election integrity to where Obama was born, if you look, you notice he says it a lot. He does say stuff like that all the time. So it probably has worked well for him throughout life. Just keep repeating it and people believe it.
But what it sounds like to me, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds to me like you're saying the same thing that Gangsta Grandma and all of these other people say. That these people are fucking stupid. You saying that he knows that they, even though he's told them to their face, he's written it in a book, I'm going to tell you some shit that I know and you know both ain't true, but you still going to believe me.
I wish I could push back. I mean, that's exactly what's happening. I mean, it's just like with the grab him by the pussy thing. It's like, I don't see why you have a hard time believing a guy who did something that we're bragging about doing it before he got accused. If I go around bragging about how easy it is to knock off a fucking bank, and then all of a sudden you see me on TV being accused of bank robbing, I'm like, I didn't do that shit. That's all you do is brag about robbing fucking banks. I don't see why it's so hard for folks to believe it's possible he could do things he's been accused of that he often brags about doing. It doesn't make sense. I do believe that the G in MAGA for some people may stand for gullible. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Like, this guy's routinely bragging about this stuff.
I want you to ask these people, but I know you got so many different questions you gotta ask MAGA, but sometimes I just wonder, like, how they feel about him putting in his whatever they call it, he made a deal or whatever, that like they can never look into him and his family's taxes ever. Do they, like, how do they genuinely feel about that? Like, do they think, well, they was fucking with him before, so that's cool?
Yeah, that's what they... Listen, if it's one thing that Trump has done that makes folks feel like he's one of the best presidents we've ever had, is that he is a winner. He's not a winner... I won't say he's a winner for the American people. He is a winner for himself. And I always compare it to a sports victory. If your team wins, you say, we won the World Series. We won the championship. We won the Super Bowl. In reality, you ain't won shit. You got to go to work tomorrow. They're the ones getting the ring and the party and the parade. You ain't getting none of that. But the people of the city say, we won. MAGA takes Trump's victories as their own. So they see all of this. If he goes after the media, we won against The View. We won against CNN. We won against Jimmy Kimmel. Or they're taking his victories personally. So that's why they're cheering on a lot of this stuff, because they view it as a personal win. And I'll tell you this, because they're seeing all these victories, he can kind of take his time on the economy and some of that other stuff, because they believe he's doing a great job right now with all the victories. Yeah. They actually believe the victories.
Take his time, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if as long as he keeps saying, we'll get the economy going, and I mean, right now, let's be clear, let's be honest, gas prices are falling. They're not where we want them, but gas prices are manageable now. So
I was going to say this. I was thinking about this earlier. The same people that say, "Oh my God," when Biden was in office, gas was $5 a gallon. Mm-hmm. Now, when he left office, it was $3 a gallon. Mm-hmm. So that's a $2 difference from the peak until he left office. Now, Trump comes into office, his shit was $4.50. Now it's down to $3. And they saying this is a great economy and this is manageable. I don't even get the difference in that. Like, there's no difference. Like,
It's
Biden shit came down a lot more than his did, but Biden was terrible, if you ask them.
well, it's manageable because under Biden, everything costs more, and we didn't see any reason for the shit to go up so much. Under Trump, stuff costs more, but look, we've prevented Iran from getting a bomb. The Ayatollah's gone. They see Trump's accomplishments as worthy of short-term pain. They don't believe there was any legitimate reason for us to suffer under Biden. He was just a complete failure. Under Trump, things are not going well, but look, we're getting stuff on the back end that makes the short-term pain worth it.
But when Biden says, hey, we got the infrastructure bill done that's going to help everybody. When Barack Obama says, hey, we got 40 million more people that have insurance that didn't have insurance. When Biden says, hey, gas is now down from what it was because of what happened with Trump's deal with the Middle East that caused the gas to go up after the pandemic. See, you simplify it for them, and you kind of give them an excuse.
I'm just explaining you what I hear. That's all. I got to move it on, but I'm not saying that I'm buying into it. I'm just explaining what I hear.
Right, but what's up with the Kennedy Center? Why won't they remove the damn tarp, man?
The embarrassment is too much to take, and he's fighting behind the scenes to get permission to do it again. So we'll keep it hidden because that way the Democrats don't get the win by taking a picture of it down, and they'll keep.
We seen the pictures behind it. They showed the pictures. It's not there.
It was AI. That was AI. I gotta go. I gotta go. Dencal, as always, pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
All right, good talking to
You too. Tap the screen in the comments. When he said deal last week, gas went down significantly. Guess what? It looks like now up. Is gas ain't went up, has it? I haven't seen. I thought gas prices are still manageable. But you're right. With Iran is doing their own thing too. There's no guarantee it's going to stay that way. Help your boy out with the hat and mustache. TikTok cap goals. Show the program some love. JPT Farms. Good evening. In the comments, slanging banging. Economy was bad because of a war. What was the left's excuse? And that's what I was just telling my last callers, that folks on the right are willing to tolerate some short-term pain under Trump because they believe he is working on a master plan. He's working on making America the hottest nation on earth, getting the terrorists under control, getting Iran under control, getting Venezuela under control. So they're willing to deal with a little bit of higher expenses under Trump because they believe that the end result will be worth it. Under Biden, they don't believe Biden was doing anything to justify why we were paying more. And right or wrong, we went to war to better the American people, in my opinion. And that's exactly what Slang and Banging has said. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 45,000. Help your moms and grandmas get to the courthouse and pay for certified copies of documents to allow them to vote. I'm going to tell you my take on the Save America Act. I'm really hoping it does not pass. And I'm not in the camp where I don't disagree with all of the Save America Act. I do believe a full-grown adult should be able to present an ID to vote. I don't think there's any legitimate excuse for why a full-grown ass adult can't get an ID for an election cycle that is 2 years apart. You've had 2 years since the presidential election to get an ID for the midterms. I don't think there's any excuse for that. But as my last caller rightfully pointed out, there's a lot more involved than just presenting an ID, which is why I'm not a fan of the Save America Act. Also, all of that anti-trans shit that's in there, once again, stuff that I agree with. I don't think biological males should be able to play against girls in sports, but it has no place in a election integrity bill. It does not have any place in that. Gender reassignment surgery, I'm totally in favor of outlawing gender reassignment surgery for children, just like I'm in favor of not letting biological males play against girls in sports. But that, living out your I hate the transgender fantasies type shit, do that in a separate bill. If you're talking about this is about protecting the integrity of the election, the bill should only be pertaining to the election. Because preventing biological males from playing in sports against girls, which nobody is fucking dealing with, that ain't saving America. America's not even dealing with that. I mean, most of us don't know a single person that has a daughter that's playing against a dude in sports in school. So do that in a different bill. But I do agree with requiring an ID. The citizenship part is why I hope the Save America Act does not pass. Simply put, it's damn near July, which is what, the 7th month of the year? We vote at the beginning of November. That's the 11th month of the year. So we're talking a little bit more than, 4 months until the midterms. If all of a sudden the Save America Act goes by and you got to prove citizenship, you are literally going to have potentially millions of people trying to get documents all at once. In an environment where Trump federally has fired a bunch of people in a lot of different places, there are going to be people on November 4th or whenever the midterms are saying, I sent in for this or for that, and they haven't gotten back to me yet. You're going to have a ton of people on the news that can prove they were born in this country. My parents gave me a newspaper to show I was born, and they announced the birth back in 1965. I damn sure am a citizen. And because I couldn't get this paperwork in time, I didn't get to vote. The point I'm making is it's going to cause more people not to vote than it's going to come remotely close to preventing illegals from voting. I really hope it does not pass for that reason. The Save America Act should be something they're pursuing for 2028, not November. It's too fucking close at this point. In the comments, I bet you in the box, we'll go straight to the one and only MAGA Reacts. Nobody who has a brain likes Trump. No, I disagree with that. I think Elon Musk has a brain. Jeff Bezos has a brain. Bill Gates has a brain. Mark Zuckerberg has a brain. They're just voting for him for different reasons that you may not agree with. We tried to bring up MAGA Reacts. Don't know if we're having problems here. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. In the comments here, that's just fear mongering, says Papa Slice. You really think millions of people trying to get passports, marriage certificates, birth certificates, and all of that shit between now and November, you believe it's fear mongering to suggest that could overwhelm the system? You actually think that's fear mongering? You feel confident that many people trying to get those documents, the system will have no problem producing all of that for all of those people? Just total fear mongering to say otherwise, huh? All right. Tap the screen, get the likes up. We'll try it again before we move on to bring up MAGA Reacts. Do you agree with the caller, MAGA, that is fear mongering to suggest potentially hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people trying to get documents to prove their citizenship between now and November could clog the system? Is it fear mongering to suggest that? What say you?
I think so, because the documents don't come from one source. It comes from many sources.
Yeah.
You know, you get your birth certificate from your hospital that you were born at, which, you know, there's tons of hospitals producing those.
No, they said certified. They said certified. So look, if I go, the hospital I was born at does not even exist anymore. I got to get that from the state of Illinois. That's where most of the birth certificates are going to come from. The birth records of the actual, remember Obama produced his birth certificate?
Passport, don't you?
Huh?
So you wouldn't need to do shit because you have a passport. Most people have that.
Yeah, but but a lot of people, most of America does not have passports. Most of them don't.
No, but a lot of us have had to do some stuff to get the real ID, so it's the same documents as the real ID.
They're not accepting the real ID. The real ID is, you're not going to vote.
No. I'm saying the document that we needed for the real ID is the same documents that you need now for this. And then I'm sure they'll make it easy. Like, that's the whole point.
You sure they'll make it easy? Is that what you just said?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God.
Because they want their side. They don't want to fuck over their side too. Like, you know, they have to. The thing is, the Democrats are going to be in charge of the Democrat states, and they want their Democrat voters to vote. And the Republicans are going to be in charge of the Republican states, are going to want their Republican people to vote.
Here's what I want to ask you. Let's say, for instance, because are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, let's say you do got a woman that's using her husband's name and obviously her birth certificate has her maiden name on it, so the names don't match, and she has to present a certified copy of, I guess, her marriage certificate to show that the two documents actually are the same person. If she does not have the money to get that, what avenues does she have to still be able to vote?
Does it cost money to get this shit?
Because yes, you're not going to get any certified document from any government entity for free. Yes, it's going to cost money.
Then let's find a way to make it cheap for her or free for her.
Have you heard them?
I'm sure like there's a bunch of DNC people that would love to give her money to get her shit together.
Have you heard the Trump administration saying anything about that? You know, passports and all that stuff costs money. Have you heard the Trump administration saying anything about helping these folks pay the money to get this stuff whatsoever?
But this is what the DNC and the RNC is supposed to do.
No, they're not. This ain't supposed to exist.
This is exactly what they're good for.
No, this law is not supposed to exist. The states are supposed to deal with elections. The federal government.
We've always had laws like this. This is the first time it's a national law that everybody has to follow. We've always had ID laws and shit like that, especially in different states. And the RNC and DNC is supposed to help with this shit.
No.
It's supposed to help Democrats and Republicans register to vote, whatever they need to do, including this.
So you're saying if a person needs to get
plenty of money to help whoever they want to help, you know?
So you're saying if a person needs to present a passport to vote, it's the responsibility of the DNC or the RNC to give them the money if they don't have it?
Yeah, I mean, all this money they waste on elections.
Where have you heard this from?
People get their shit together.
Where have you heard this from? When have you? Is that common? I've never heard this before.
Well, that's what the DNC and RNC does. They go around helping people fucking register to vote and do stuff like this. It's exactly what they're supposed to be doing.
So you're saying if I needed a passport, I could contact the RNC because they're the ones that. Could I contact the RNC and have them send me money to get a passport?
I'm sure if you do, they'll be happy to, especially if they know you're a Republican or a Democrat and you're going to vote for their guy.
You're sure of that? You're sure of that? If I contact the RNC and say it's a passport, it's going to cost me $200, you feel sure that they would give me the money for that?
I don't know. We'll find out. I'm pretty sure, but we'll find out.
I
don't know. It's supposed to be what they do, and they have the money to do it.
You gotta guess. Real talk.
But hold on, dude. Mr. Till, let me tell you this, sir. I had something to pre-order Galaxy when we first started live, and I asked you to bring me up, and you didn't. But I sent another one, dude. But we're gonna keep that one in the pocket. I'm talking to you about that later.
All right, I didn't see it. I didn't know that, but thank you. Okay, fair enough.
All right, sir. I ain't gonna accept your Trump excuses. But anyway, Margarita is gonna get you like that. I heard you say earlier that they ain't gonna do nothing to hurt their own people. Like you were talking about, like Republicans with the Voter Act, they ain't gonna do it to hurt their own people.
Yeah, they don't want to lose voters.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, then, brother. Did you see that Republican news conference today about them talking about the SAVE Act?
No, I don't watch everything.
Okay, so see, this is what I say, that sometimes before we speak in absolutes, we need to make sure we do our research. That's my boy Mike the Ball be talking about that. He know what I'm talking about. He be on that research. But anyways, so the Republicans had a news conference today on the Save America's Act, that Voters Act or whatnot like that. They was on there talking about that they ain't gonna vote for nothing else because this was the Housing Act when Trump, did you see that part when they had that big thing and Trump was supposed to come and sign the bill for the Housing Act? Did you see that?
I heard about it, but what's up?
Okay, so you heard about it. So let me tell you about it. Like they was out there from the sign and Trump got on True Social. That's how he report a lot of things on True Social. And got out there and said he was no longer signing unless they get the Save America's Act. Girl, shut up. And when they had Republicans had a news conference today, they said that they won't sign the the Housing Act because they believe that the Save America's Act, the Save the Voting Act is more important. Now let me ask you this question, brother.
All right.
In this country, because you've been here in this country, what do you think is more important right now for us, American people? Housing or a voter fraud bill?
Voting is always more important. Voter security is always more important. This way we don't have a fucking civil war.
Let me respond to that. I agree with MAGA Reacts if there was ample evidence to suggest that the elections were being handled in a fraudulent manner. If he was hold on, if Trump was presenting that, if the stuff Trump alleges in our elections there was proof that was actually happening, I would think the Save America Act would be more important than the housing act. But we know people can't afford houses. We don't have any proof of this election stuff.
Mr. Tim, that's where I was going, sir. You gotta let me cook, man. I was going there because we can't prove in this country right now that voter fraud is an epidemic type of stuff. We can't prove that in this country, but we can prove there's a lot of us Americans that really can't afford to even buy a house right now today. So why not, my MAGA Reacts brother? Why not focus on the current problems that we can prove than rather a problem that came up because a man lost an election?
Listen, we have people questioning elections every election, so don't blame it just on 2020. I remember 2000. I remember fucking 2000. I remember 2020, and I'm sure there's a few more.
Yeah, but they're not calling it a national emergency though. Yeah, but Hillary Clinton said the election was stolen. You got Al Gore, but they didn't call it a national emergency. Trump is saying the Save America Act is a national emergency.
Well, listen, we're more divided and we have less confidence in elections than ever before. So this
ain't true. That's your only. That is only your side that feel that way. That is only your side, and particularly MAGA. Even Mike Pence don't think Trump won. Even traditional Republicans don't agree with that. That's just MAGA talking like that.
Do you want another January 6th, or do you want to just take this small step to be like, all right, you're the election, so I guess you don't have to you can't bitch about stolen election anymore.
Wait, but MAGA, let's go back to what you said about the Republicans won't hurt their own people, or whatever the case may be like that. In this country, is housing affordability only a problem for Democrats, or is it a problem for Democrats and Republican citizens?
You're twisting my words. I meant not hurt their own people as far as getting them to vote for them, as far as their voter eligibility. Not as far as everything possible.
Okay, so basically,
and also when it comes to like this housing bill, just because they passed the housing bill doesn't mean it's actually going to help with housing. Most of the time, bills just make things worse.
MAGA React, just because they pass a voter fraud bill doesn't mean it's going to help with fraud.
Wow.
Is that right, brother?
It takes steps to actually change your elections to make it more secure.
But brother, what I said, is that right? That it doesn't mean it's gonna stop what you said. Is that right?
I mean, in a way, you're right, because there's always ways to cheat. You just have to be smart enough to do it.
Okay,
it's a good step for people to trust elections more.
Okay, is it a good step? Is it a good step?
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
In this country, I'm gonna go with that 3 minutes. But is it a good step for the American citizens in this country to feel like they can have the American dream? Is that a good step?
No, it's a good step, but the problem is that bill just probably gonna throw money at it, money that's gonna get wasted or used in fraudulent ways. Where this is actually taking steps to make elections more secure by requiring our it's not throwing money at the problem. It's actually trying to fix the problem versus the other bill is just throwing money at the problem, which we know doesn't work because fucking the government sucks at doing shit.
So my last thing is, Mr. Taylor, good job. So with the voter bill, we don't have a big problem. We cannot prove that it's a massive fraud. But you know what? It's a step to go ahead and make things better. But when it comes down to Americans affording housing or whatever the case may be like that to pursue the American dream, it's just throwing money at it. You go ahead and jump in.
This bill doesn't.
All right, real talk. Thank you.
This bill actually, where the other bill throws money. You know what makes housing affordable? If the fucking what's it called?
Interest
they lower
rates.
interest rate. Which
Well, no, but
interest rate.
Part of that housing bill, and I agree with Real Talk, part of that housing bill is preventing investors from buying all of these Airbnb properties. So you don't have a young family that's buying a house for the first time competing against an investor that can walk in and buy 10 houses in cash. That's in that bill. It's stopping investors from doing it because that's what a lot of people are competing
I take
against.
back what I said then.
Yeah, that's part of it. Now,
If that's what's in the bill, it's just not just throwing money at the problem, then I take back what I said, because
Yeah.
it's also like a solution-based bill.
another thing that's
'Cause I
in
don't
there
like
is
throwing money at the problem.
Yeah, another
Makes
thing-
things more expensive.
well, another thing in there that is throwing money out there is using federal dollars to convert vacant buildings into housing. So you could turn factories into lofts and things like that. That's in there as well. You could turn it into cheap housing or whatever. So,
that part I don't like.
well,
That part I don't trust. I don't want to say I don't like. I don't trust it because I know some people are going to use it fraudulently.
Well, no matter what we do, yes, anytime there's a bill, somebody's going to find a way to use the new law to make money and do some underhanded shit. Like with this Save America Act that you're saying would prevent January 6th, for instance. How the hell do you think? Here's what I don't get. How the hell do you not understand Democrats looking at a man that has made all kinds of accusations over the last 10 years about fraudulent elections, provided little to no proof of most of those accusations, and that is the dude who wants to pass a bill to control how the elections was ran. If it was some other president in the future, the Save America Act might be something that had more credibility. But it's coming from a man that, as far as we know right now, has a history of lying about election fraud, that's making up stuff. That's the dude that's saying we need to pass my bill to protect elections. When he's made all kinds of accusations that, at the very
If he's
best,
lying, then why is he passing the bill?
what?
If he's lying, like you said, then why is he passing this bill to stop elections?
Because it's going to benefit him. Because like mail-in voting. Let me explain to you. Like mail-in voting. Which party overwhelmingly use mails to vote in? That's the Democrats. If you take away mail-in voting, you're taking away a avenue to vote that is primarily used by Democrats. So now they got a
But he doesn't want to take in. He just wants to limit it to people requesting it.
Bullshit.
He's just getting rid of massive mail-in voting.
That ain't what he said. That ain't what. No. It says mail-in vote.
You like ballot harvesting? Because I hate it. I've told you this 100 times that I hate ballot harvesting. I think it's just cheating.
I don't like
And
making
whoever has the most money is
accusations.
going to cheat the best and win the election.
I'm going to say what I keep saying. I don't like accusations without proof. Just show me the
I showed
cheating.
you articles 2 days ago. I showed you articles of them registering homeless people and fucking getting them to vote for whoever they want using their mail-in ballots.
To me, registering a homeless person to vote, first of all, I don't think that on its face is cheating to no great degree. And second of all, I don't think that represents very many people in this country. I mean, how many homeless people have been registered to vote by somebody else? That is such a tiny, tiny problem that passing a bill that we all got to deal with seems incredible. Real talk to me. You want to come back up? But
For a tiny problem, they're always arresting someone every election in California. There's always somebody. Every election, I hear someone getting arrested for it in California.
okay, I think what you guys are doing are taking basically a molehill and trying to turn it into a mountain. You're taking something that maybe a few people do that's illegal and trying to pass these huge laws that affect everybody. The average homeless person even is not being registered to vote by nobody. That's something that is happening in the minuscule numbers, just like with this transgender and sports type shit. You guys are taking stuff that affects virtually nobody and making it sound like everybody is at risk from it.
I generally believe that homeless people being registered to vote affected the mayoral race in fucking in LA.
Okay.
I think fucking what's his name, Brat would have been fucking number 2 if it wasn't for all the homeless people being registered.
I think Elon Musk affected elections. Should we stop somebody from being able to fork over $350 million to the president? Elon Musk affected elections.
I mean, honestly, I'm for that. I'm for getting money out of the election.
Let's hear him go. I think. Hold on. I think
even what Elon did is not the same because he didn't fucking sit there and make sure the person voted for who
he gave somebody. Who gives a shit? You and I disagree on the fact that if you give somebody $1 million, they're going to vote the way you want them to. You're making it sound like I could give you $1 million and you're going to go in the.
People did it for $5, Tim. For not even $5. They said the people they interviewed said they did it for $2 on a fucking sandwich and cigarettes.
Real talk. What's up?
All right, first before I start, Shantae says 7810 lower the student loan act. OFK should be like that. So I'm just go ahead and throw that shout out in. But Mac React, you talked about voter harvesting, right? You talked about that, right? That's a bad thing, right? OFK should be like that. So what if you saw, right, like when Trump was running for president, and you saw they did an investigation and saw that these ballot harvesters had a whole big pile of mail just stored somewhere on the outside, what would that say to you?
He dropped. He must have dropped. He must have had a phone call. Magari X dropped. He said they.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into that. But the reason why I had asked him that question because I noticed that a lot of people like to talk, but they don't understand how they'll put their foot in their mouth before they do research. Mr. Tim, the Postmaster General had a Senate hearing. No case, I think it was today. It was today or yesterday. Yeah, Senate hearing. Mm-hmm. Now you know who Josh Hawley is, right?
Yeah, the Postmaster.
And you know Josh Hawley ain't no Democrat. It was not like that. Josh Hawley was sitting in that Senate hearing and asked the Postmaster General that's under Trump and put up a picture. Anybody who want to know what I'm saying, go back and look at it. Josh Hawley put up a picture and asked, and I think it was St. Louis, Missouri he was talking about, and asked about him being sending letters to the Postmaster General about an investigation because he had a picture where they showed a pile of mail with the little mail buckets surrounding it on the outside just piled up, and asked him that why he hasn't did an investigation on that, and he have sent them letters like other senators. Josh Hawley even said in that Senate hearing and said that he wanted on record because the Postmaster General was laughing when he asked him about why he did that. So my thing was, when I saw that, I said to myself, what is Trump saying about that right now? Because I ain't hear nothing about Trump saying nothing about that. But if Joe Biden was president, that would have been
different.
See, we told y'all
it would have been different.
Was rigging and stealing the elections. Or I don't even see nothing about MAGA second. When I saw that hearing, I mean, I'm petty. I'm researching. I'm looking for.
Look, you already know. Trump is only concerned with any potential fraud coming from Democrats. If a Republican is either accused of committing an act of fraud or even convicted for committing an act of fraud, Trump ain't gonna say shit about it. He only is concerned with fraud coming from the Democrat side. So,
and the crazy part to me about that is that when MAGA React say something like when he says that because the election was closed, that's why it was. This is why we need to know about what was going on. But what confuses me is why he don't be saying that. When Trump was running for president, he said it was rampant fraud going on in that state, and he won that state. Why he stop talking about that fraud in that state?
Because they are only because he's following the path of Trump. He too is only concerned with Republican fraud or Democrat fraud. They're not. If Trump says there's fraud in the state, and Trump ends up winning that state, they don't care about the fraud that was there. It's as simple as that.
And they don't say that just like when Trump came out and said that he saw somebody was losing, and he had called the Attorney General and said, look into that. That sounds like, that to me, when I heard him say that sounded like what it was, 1,780 votes?
Yeah, find me 11,000 votes. Find me 11,000 votes.
He told them So I need y'all to go out there and find a way
Yeah.
so this person can win. Thank you for bringing me up, sir.
Anytime, real talk, definitely real. Love to talk. Tap the screen, get us on up to 75,000. Like I said, to me, the biggest issue with the Save America Act is the fact that it's coming from Trump. I really believe that. There's way too many allegations of fraud coming from Trump that have either been unfounded, where there was no evidence, or in some cases proven to be a lie, like the Dominion voting machine stuff, where people are settling out of court and admitting, yeah, we kind of just made it up. You need a Save America Act to come from somebody else. If it's coming from Trump, a guy who done already did the whole January 6th thing and tried to not certify the election, he just makes for a bad messenger of fraudulent elections. And I'm saying that even if, let's say Trump did discover some fraud in an election, he just makes a bad messenger to speak on that at this point, because he's been caught doing things that are not in the best interest of a free and fair election. He makes a bad messenger at this point. Which parties for taking money out of elections, Dencal? I'm going to say to some degree the Democrats, but Democrats take AIPAC money and stuff too. I don't know if either party really is for taking money out of elections. Some of the people of the, I think there are plenty of Republican and Democrat voters that are for taking money out of elections. But when it comes to the likes of, Mike Johnson or Hakeem Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi, I think neither one of them would be a good person to pick if you wanted money out of elections. I think they've all made a killing off of it. So it would be, I don't know who would be for it confidently. In the comments, and real quick, Handsome Conservative on Clapper. By the way, folks, you can get your comments on Clapper, if you will. The Handsome Liberal on Clapper. We see comments over there. Handsome Liberal on Instagram. If you're just following us on YouTube, we're on all those other platforms live right now as well. Handsome Conservative on Clapper says, whether it's a few or a lot, it is happening and needs to be stopped by passing a bill. I vehemently disagree. You got more people getting wrongfully killed by pew-pews than you got casting ballots wrongfully, and you don't want to do shit about that. How about the next time you catch somebody voting illegally, you offer thoughts and prayers to the poll office? You don't want to do shit about illegal folks losing their lives in schools and stuff over gun violence, but you only need to see a few illegal votes, and all of a sudden you want to pass a complete overhaul on the voting system. Yet kids dying in schools, no, we don't really need to do anything about that of any significance. Let me hear about some kind of federal gun law. There are way more people that lose their lives to that than there are that vote illegally. I don't see no rush to do that. So the idea that, well, there's a few, so we should do something about it. You don't treat anything else like that. There's a few people being violated about all kinds of things. And you don't see Trump rushing to do anything federally about it. How about the fact that what happened on the Epstein list? You think there's a few kids that are victimized nationally due to adults wanting to interact with you? You think that happens a few times? Maybe in a few different religions in the back rooms? You really want to address some shit that only happens based on the notion of a few? I'm going to give you stuff that happened way more than a few people voting illegally. And I don't see the right doing anything to address that stuff. So I don't buy into a few people are doing this, so let's rush and do something nationally that's going to affect everybody and potentially cost millions of dollars, because people got to rush to get all of these certified documents and passports and all of this shit that is really based on the action of just a few people. I don't, and it's also based on the wording of somebody that tried to prevent an election from being certified. And when he failed, sent a whole bunch of people towards the Capitol building, and those people acted a fool. In the comments, gun laws only affect law-abiding citizens. I don't understand what people don't understand about that. That ain't true is what they understand about that. Gun laws affect criminals too. There are plenty of criminals that are serving double-digit years in prison simply because they were a prohibited possessor. Without the gun law, maybe they were driving on the way to rob a liquor store or something. got pulled over by the police. The police discovered the firearm and took the firearm and took the person to prison because they were a prohibited possessor. That's a gun law that stopped the whole fucking liquor store from getting robbed. Without that gun law, he would have been on his way there. He would have got stopped, and they would have let him drive off because he would have had the right to still keep that firearm. Gun laws do stop shit. You just don't realize it. Every time a prohibited possessor has a gun taken from him, that's the potential of saving a life or stopping a crime. That's a gun law. There are gun laws that work. Looking in the comments, just admit the truth that the whole Trump administration is crooked, says Be Nice. I don't know about the whole Trump administration. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard stepped down when they started suggesting that Iran had a nuke and were about to use it. She never played into that. You know, she stood up and admitted that we didn't see that. So that will be her legacy. Now, this whole Dr. Fauci bullshit that she decided to get involved in on the way out, I don't think she should have done that. I don't know what kind of future political aspirations Tulsi Gabbard has, but probably not much. I know her husband's dealing with cancer or whatever, but, you know, there's a potential she may have tried to run for office. I don't think she has any. First of all, she switched parties, which is really negative if you're going to run for any serious office, because now you come across as a traitor. But in addition to switching offices, yeah, she decided to go after Dr. Fauci with this other bullshit on the way out. To me, she should have just bowed out gracefully and left that as is. I mean, it's not like Trump is going to punish her. She's on the way out anyway. That Fauci stuff, it's not going anywhere, first of all. I don't know why people jonesing for Fauci. Do you think the guy was trying to get people killed? I still don't understand that one. Yep, and Trump swept it under the rug, but MAGA doesn't say anything. Yep. Fauci belongs under the prison, says Robert Kennedy. Here's what I don't understand. And tap the screen. We'll take the next caller at 80 Thou, Thou. And by the way, help your boy out the hat and mustache, TikTok cap goals. This is MAGA-friendly programming. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. Your comments go from left of Mom Donnie to I'm having dinner with Q. You can be critical of anybody on the program, as we always say, including yours truly. So this is free speech. In regards to the notion that Fauci should be locked up, here's what I don't get. Then why shouldn't Trump also? Dr. Fauci was only on television giving folks instructions because the president let him do it. Trump and Biden, because he continued doing it under Biden, but it predominantly started under Trump. If you believe that Dr. Fauci is saying things that are wrong, and MAGA absolutely believed that because they were telling Trump to fire Dr. Fauci in his first term. So MAGA, if Dr. Fauci is wrong, MAGA knew he was wrong, and Trump didn't? Are we suggesting that MAGA is more competent than President Trump? Because they were telling him to fire that dude then. Trump didn't do it. Trump could have reallocated him somewhere else. Fauci is known for his work on HIV. Put him back on the HIV task force. He doesn't have to be addressing people in a pandemic. Trump don't have to be appearing on television with him every day while he's telling you to wash your fucking groceries and leave them outside for 24 hours. Trump is standing by this guy. MAGA is telling you then that this guy don't know what he's talking about. So you can go after Fauci, but if in your pursuit of Fauci, you fail to acknowledge that Trump comes across as completely incompetent, then your opinion is biased. Your opinion is biased. MAGA knew this dude was wrong and the president didn't? How does that work? Explain that. So you got Trump on television with Dr. Fauci day in and day out during the day, standing next to Fauci while he gives advice on how you should handle this new virus. And then at night, Trump is going on rallies where the whole audience is yelling, fire Dr. Fauci. The MAGA, the campaign folks, or better yet, the folks at the rally is what I'm looking for. The people participating in the rally, they lead a rally thinking, yes, Trump is going to drain the swamp. He's going to get rid of this guy. In addition to locking up Hillary Clinton. Finally, we got a president that's going to do something about it. That's how they feel leaving the rallies. I know because I've been to a couple of them. And then the next day, Trump is back on TV with the motherfucker, giving out instructions again. And within a few more days, he's back at another rally in another city with more of his supporters yelling, fire this guy. And within 24 to 48 hours, Trump is back on TV with Fauci, letting him give instructions. How the hell do you go after Fauci and Trump gets a pass on that? How the hell does that work? Unless you're just totally biased in favor of defending Trump, no fucking matter what. How does he get a pass on that? If you really believe Fauci did something wrong, and this dude is just standing next to him every day on TV while he's giving out the instructions you believe are wrong, how does he get a pass? Tap the screen, going back to the box. Fauci made Trump look like the idiot he is, says Tammy. I'm just saying, if Fauci was wrong and MAGA realized it and Trump did not, then that means Trump is incompetent. Because the average citizen should know less than the president. Yet you got the whole rally yelling, fire this dude, and Trump is back on TV treating him like he's the best scientist in the world. And that means Trump is incompetent. You can't go after Fauci and ignore that with Trump. In the comments, no, Trump is sundowning, says Dark Unleashed. Get us up to 80,000. We're ready for the next caller. And by the way, help your boy with the hat and mustache. TikTok cap goes. In the comments, downside of the right outweigh downsides to the left. If you lean right, they do. If you lean right, of course the downsides to the right outweigh the downsides to the left. If you lean left, you disagree with everything you just said. Many people just hated Trump from the get-go since 2017. And that doesn't make sense to you at all, Bert? You do realize when Trump came down the golden escalator in 2015 and announced he was running for president on day one, you got to take into consideration what happened on day zero. When Trump came and announced he was running for president in 2015, he had already spent the previous 2 years doing everything he could to trash and disqualify Obama from being president. So what MAGA fails to realize is, why the hell did they treat Trump so poorly when he just announced he was running for president? They had it in for him from day one. No, Trump had already been trolling the Democrats and the president for 2 years before he announced he was running. The whole birther thing, saying all kinds of shit about Obama being born in Kenya and all. I mean, so when he announced he was running for president, he had made a bunch of enemies already. So I don't understand why MAGA, who was likely sitting around laughing at Trump trashing Obama, suddenly feel like, I don't understand why people didn't like Trump.
Politicians actually admit mistakes. You've admitted you made mistakes in the past.
I have.
Well, you and I talked about President Obama and the whole birth certificate thing.
I didn't say it was a mistake. I just said I don't want to talk about it.
I'm asking you now, do you accept that President Obama was born in the United States, is not Muslim?
I really don't know. I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't release his records. But, honestly, I don't want to get into it. He came up with this thing all of a sudden miraculously. Remember this one thing. I'm only going to get one thing because I'm about jobs, the economy, and I'm about the military and taking care of our vets.
Don't know.
No, let me just say something. Do you know that Hillary Clinton was a birther? She wanted those records and fought like hell. People forgot. Do you know that John McCain was a birther? One of those records? They couldn't get the records. Hillary failed. John McCain failed. Trump was able to get him to give something. I don't know what the hell it was.
Let me interrupt to say something. A few things on this. Now you hear him telling Anderson Cooper of CNN, this is in front of the golden escalator, by the way, that he don't know where Obama was born. Now this is back when he was running for president. In addition to him claiming he don't know where Obama was born, you hear him saying that John McCain and Hillary Clinton were birthers. That is patently false. That is patently false. And I'll tell you, I personally fell victim to this shit. For a time, I was walking around saying that Hillary Clinton is the one that started the birther movement. There's not a video or anything on file whatsoever that you can find where Hillary Clinton is questioning where Obama was born. This shit came from him. This came from him, and once it started becoming unpopular, he conveniently found two people that he considered enemies at the time, John McCain and Hillary Clinton, to try to put it on them. There is no record of John McCain ever questioning where Obama was born whatsoever. So he's lying here on this. But here's another thing I want to present to you about this whole birther movement shit. This ties into the Save America Act of 2026. Now, this is obviously over a decade ago, but I want to tell you how this ties into the Save America Act. Remember, Obama had to present his birth certificate to somehow, some way. Lisa, I appreciate the TikTok cap. Some of you folks, thank you for the support. I want to tell you how this ties into the Save America Act. The push was for Obama to give his birth certificate. That came from Trump and the likes of Sheriff Joe Arpaio down in Arizona. President Obama did ultimately cave and present his birth certificate. This is a cup I show sometimes on the program. I purchased this by donating money to the 2012, I think, maybe the 2008, maybe 2012 Obama re-election campaign, I believe. Picture of Obama's face on the front at the time. He still had all black hair and a big, nice smile. On the back, his long form birth certificate. Now, the reason I'm saying this ties into the Save America Act is because this is Obama presenting a birth certificate, and the Trump administration, or better yet, President Trump himself looked at this birth certificate, and so did Sheriff Joe Arpaio, and they said this was not legit. How does this tie into the Save America Act? You think when you start having to produce documents to vote in this midterms that are coming up, you think there's a chance they may say some of your documents are not legit if they don't want you to vote? They looked at this man's birth certificate, who was president of the United States, and tried to suggest this was fabricated and totally made up. You think they won't do that to you as a citizen? When you start producing documents, if they don't want your vote to count, look, and you don't have to do it to the individual. Trump has a beef with some liberal cities like Atlanta during the Georgia. So all of a sudden, if a bunch of folks present birth certificates from maybe a hospital that you know in the 70s and 80s gave birth to a lot of liberals, a lot of minorities, just deem all of that shit coming from that hospital as fraud. Apparently somebody got a hold of a printer and all of that shit coming from General Hospital, that's all made up. We're going to toss out all of the birth certificates that were presented from that hospital. We believe they were fabricated. You don't think that could happen? When they didn't even believe the birth certificate from an actual sitting president. You don't think they could do that? So that's the point I'm making. He don't shown already that he may disqualify legitimate documents. So the Save America Act is making you present all these documents, birth certificates, marriage certificates, all of it, passports and shit. You don't think they may disqualify some of that shit? You could go out and get a passport and then get a letter from the federal government saying you lied on the information to get the passport. Therefore, the passport is considered inaccurate and we won't let you vote with it. Isn't that what they're doing to turn over green cards? They're suggesting you got your green card by putting fraudulent information down 10, 15 years ago. Therefore, we're going to revoke your green card. They've shown you time in and time again that they are willing to revoke legitimate documents. And here we are approaching a period in voting history where they're going to be requiring documents. You think they're going to trust them all? The Democrat ones? Tap the screen. Let me go back to the box. Just letting you know where this is going to go, likely. If you don't believe it, you should. Going to the box will bring up the one and only Andy. Good evening, Andy. Welcome to the program.
Hello. And it was Hillary's supporters, not Hillary's campaign, that did that, because it's been fact-checked 9 ways to Sunday, and it was not Hillary.
Yeah. Or John McCain, or the late John McCain either.
Yeah, or John McCain. That was all. Donald Trump saw that and he was all, let's run with it. Let's go back to the voter fraud. So I went and consulted the Heritage Foundation's statistics, where they went and did the voter fraud because, they thought that that we were all lying about how few voter frauds happened, and then they had to come out and tell the truth. So in the 20 years, voter fraud percentage of the entire vote was 0.000845. less than a percentage.
And I believe that. And real quick before we continue, in the comments, Tammy says a certified copy is generally stamped, embossed. If you try to copy it, it will have a watermark on the copy. Good luck with falsification.
She's right.
Yeah, but you
That's true.
But you can't create a phony seal. I mean, anything can be fraudulently created.
That embossment, that's how the state knows. Like it's mine's heavy duty. Alabama ain't playing. That embossement's thick. It's pretty, got gold leaf on it and everything. They did it all nice and shit.
But I mean, you can create a phony passport, all the other documents. I mean, a phony marriage certificate. Some of that other stuff can be fabricated, can't it?
Well, the only reason they're doing this is Mike Johnson already told us, or have we already forgotten? Because so much bullshit happens every damn day that we can't keep up. On a hot mic, Mike Johnson got caught telling the senator of Louisiana that who was it? Johnson was told Jeff Landry, it'd be huge for the Republican Party if the Save America Act decreased the voter turnout to between 12 and 18%.
Wow.
So don't tell me they're not trying to disenfranchise us when Mike Johnson said so.
Yeah.
It came out of the horsey's mouth. No.
I think it's pretty obvious. I think it's pretty obvious that the goal is to reduce voter turnout by putting up hurdles. I don't think. Look, this. My also take on this, Andy, is that there's only 4 months from now into the midterms. If all of a sudden this passes and you got potentially millions of people trying to request documents between now and November, some people are not going to get their stuff. I mean, it's just plain. Some people are not going to receive this in time.
Well, plus, don't forget, right after he got in office, he shut down a bunch of the health departments.
Right.
Got to mail it in. Can't even go down there and get it no more. He fixed that too. So don't say he's not trying to disenfranchise people, because he's taking away all the mechanisms. Y'all can lie if you want to and try to gaslight us, but at this point, at first, you know, it was like, yeah, we need to convince them. At this point, we just look at you as a cult and say there's no hope for you and move on.
Yeah. And here's something,
You know, like-
here's something else I find really odd. We're going to suggest that mail-in voting should be canceled because there's all kinds of ways to commit acts of fraud. But we're okay with all the documents you need to register to vote being given to you by mail. Okay, if the mail ain't safe, then why the hell is it okay to get a passport and all that shit through the mail then?
Well, that's okay, because we do have a case of voter fraud in Florida, and it'd be Tommy Tuberville. Because if he lives in Alabama like he says he does, then why did he vote in November in Florida? So Tommy's either not going to be governor, or he going to have to answer about that voter fraud. But so thank you, Republicans. One of your own candidates out here committing voter fraud. So when y'all talk about it, it's not our criminal behavior, it's yours. You were always accusing us of stuff. Now we know, because we always think, where did you get that from? That's crazy. Now we know every accusation is a confession. Y'all are just telling us out front what y'all are doing because y'all don't know how to be quiet.
Well,
it's not within your ability.
Well, you never know. I mean, right now they don't have the votes for the Save America Act, but Trump willing to put in the work. I mean,
he's done some things that be like, y'all, like we should have been paying attention to these little local elections. The people that went to work at the polling office, you know, those are the people that he put on the ground to replace. Not to mention, you know, he gave Michael Flynn $1.2 million.
For what?
Because Michael Flynn sued the DOJ because he.
Them damn lawsuits. Yeah.
When he but let's all be honest, y'all. He pleaded guilty to meeting with Ambassador Kislyak. You know, that Russian thing y'all say is a hoax. Like, Flynn is the linchpin that actually met with Kislyak. Well, him and Jeff Sessions, you know, that's why Sessions recused himself. Y'all call it a hoax, but
to me,
your party admits to it undercover, at least.
To me, it's like he's, to some degree, and I'm sure my MAGA audience will disagree with me, but it's like he's using our tax dollars as a personal piggy bank. I mean, he's just doing whatever he wants.
What do you mean feels like?
It does.
Look,
anything he wants, he just spends money on it.
Let's be honest. I ask, let me get AI to propagate those numbers real quick. Because Trump's spending's off the chain.
And his own shit that ain't benefiting nobody. His own vanity projects and stuff that just benefits him and friends and associates, or maybe supporters. it ain't really benefiting nobody. Did you go on mute, Andy? Yeah, there we go. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Donald Trump got that plane from Qatar. We retrofitted it, and he's going to take it home. Like,
that's
we
crazy.
Can't feed kids, and we can't have health care. We can give him that plane. We can send him to the Super Bowl. That was $20 million. We can send him to the NBA. Like, the amount of money, like, it'll be done in a minute. Donald Trump has already spent some ungodly sum, like this term alone.
I'll even go one better. Here's one that to me damn near it just pissed me off. How are we going to pass a law that suggests people on EBT, food stamps, can't purchase soda and chips, but you can get jets and fucking tribunal arches and UFC fights and parades? How is it that you can use the taxpayer money for UFC fights and parades and stuff, but they can't use it to buy chips and soda? That doesn't make sense to me.
They already overturned that. And Stevie, honey, why don't you go look at the $100 million Mississippi stole? You're Republicans. I get back to me when you actually know. Until you do, quit bringing up the fraud that was found under the Biden administration that y'all are taking credit for because y'all need something and all the chaos, and y'all don't got a leg to stand on. Miss me with that bullshit. Now, what were you saying, Tim?
No, I'm just saying, I know they overturned that SNAP ban, but I'm just simply saying that
it's
is
discrimination. If you're going to make it illegal for everybody.
Yeah. Well, and also, we know this has nothing to do with protecting the health of children, which is what they tried to pass. But we know they're not doing this to protect the health of children. They're doing it just to be cruel to, like you said, a certain group of people.
Yeah. Because I can't believe that these people out here believe that a man who has been bankrupt in every mess meal never had to go buy groceries, never had to do anything for himself, really. Even when he went bankrupt, Daddy and them gave him more money. You know, how he could ever, I got a visibility, ever, have any kind of understanding with them. And thanks for having me up. They reported me because they're, weak.
Every show I get it, Andy, but it's always a pleasure bringing you on. You're always welcome here, so come through anytime. In the comments, eat some eggs and veggies and drink water. Well, shit, how about you fly around on the regular Air Force One? You're going to tell the person that's on welfare, eat some eggs and drink water. Don't waste my taxpayer money on soda and chips. But it's okay for Trump to have military parades that cost you ridiculously high sums of money and decorating pools and shit. I mean, look, if you care about wasteful spending in terms of taxpayer money, then show us you care about wasteful spending. Don't make it look like you only care when money is being wasted when certain groups of people are wasting it. Because that reflective pool, that is a waste of fucking money. There is no denying that is a waste of money. Even if he had succeeded in damn pool actually turned it blue, it's still a waste of money. There are things that are going on in this country. People are, food dependent right now. They don't know where they're going to get a meal from. The economy sucks. Gas is still not under control. Gas prices and all of that shit. Dying the bottom of a pool blue shouldn't even be on the priority list right now. So same thing with the Tribunal Arch. Same thing with the Air Force One. I mean, we have the regular Air Force One like the one that's behind me that would have easily served Trump and his administration for the rest of his term. That jet from Qatar was not mandatory. It was not immediately needed. They're working on a new Air Force One anyway. Trump approved that in his first term. But he decides, well, I'm going to fly this luxurious Qatar jet, and I'm going to charge the U.S. taxpayers a few $100 million to retrofit it to make it safe for a president. And when I leave office, it's going in my library or Smithsonian or whatever he said, like what Andy pointed out. He's keeping that. It's either going in the Smithsonian or he's going to keep flying it as a citizen, whatever the case may be. He's made it clear no future president will use that aircraft. So Trump only has 2 more years in office, and we paid a few $100 million to turn this jet useful and worthy of a president just so he can use it for 2 years. How the hell is that a waste of money? That wasn't necessary. That's just a waste of money so that he could fly around more luxurious than he already was flying around in. At your expense. The people he don't want using the taxpayer money to buy Doritos and Coca-Cola. And that's what he's getting. Why don't we just yell out, let them eat cake? Why don't we just say that? In the comments, though, Slanging and Banging says, did Obama's brother say he was born in Kenya? I don't know. I heard rumors of that. But if he had said he was born in America, the right wouldn't have said nothing about it. President Trump's relatives have said all kinds of bad shit about him. Do you believe that? I think you're picking and choosing what you want to believe. You got ex-wives and all kinds of shit about President Trump that have said bad stuff about him. So you're going to believe what Obama's brother in Kenya allegedly said, but anything that any family member of Trump said, you're going to discount that. So to me, it just seems like you're picking and choosing what you need to make a point. Tap the screen, get the likes up to over 100,000 if you will. We'll go back to the box. Every boy with the hat and mustache, TikTok cap goes. You know what we do here. If you're watching us live on Instagram, Substack, TikTok, or Clapper, follow the program. We're here most weekdays. If you're watching us live on YouTube, give us a sub. We don't block, ban, or censor. It doesn't matter what your politics are. You can be critical of me or anybody else. It's all about free speech. Give us a sub if you're watching on YouTube. Hands of Conservative says, I've been watching your show for a while now. You pick and choose to make your point. True. And you point it out. I pick and choose sometimes to defend Trump. And liberals point it out. So when he picks and chooses some dude that's Obama's brother in Kenya making some kind of claim, I would love to find that dude and find out if he's been paid off, he's living in a much better house or some shit. I would love to find this brother of Obama's that Obama don't ever seem to be seen with and find out if they even talk to the right dude. But anyway, continue on with the program. And I will tell you real quick, in regards to the notion that they talked to Obama's brother or brother or whatever, and he admitted he was born in Kenya. I want you to hear this clip because I think it's worthy of noting. I think this is Trump at the time making a statement.
Nice hotel. Trump entering in style. It wasn't just to show off his new establishment, but also to quell an ongoing campaign controversy surrounding President Barack Obama's place of birth. Trump finally admitting
President Barack Obama was born in the United States, period.
In the process,
So if he's saying that Barack Obama was born in the United States finally, then that means the brother lied then. So just understand that. If Trump now is admitting Obama was born in America, then the brother lied. Somebody is lying. There's no way to make it sound any better. Then Trump either lied then and he's lying now. He lied then, he told the truth then and he's lying now. Somebody is lying. Up to and including the brother. Because Trump is now in video saying that Obama was born in America, period. So just understand it. It's all fucked up. When was this clip? This clip was before Trump got, let me see if I can find. I think it was before he got reelected. There's plenty of these. There's plenty of this on YouTube. Let me see here. I'll see if I can find an actual date of it. But there's better clips of him saying it too for you taking it out of context kind of people. He said it many times. So take it with a grain of salt, if you will.
Mention her in the same breath, but Hillary Clinton and her campaign, not to mention her in the same breath, but Hillary Clinton and her campaign of 2008 started the birther controversy.
That ain't true.
I finished it. You know what I mean. President Barack Obama was born in the United States, period. Now we all want to get back to making America strong and great again. Thank you. Thank you very much.
September 16th, 2016 is when he said that. It's dated September 16th, 2016. At this time, he was blaming Hillary Clinton for the birther movement. As I stated, a lot of MAGA, and that's what the whole program was about. Why does Trump Why can Trump just say stuff and MAGA takes it at face value? Because I've had a lot of MAGA tell me that Hillary Clinton was also saying Barack Obama wasn't born in America. And I started echoing that shit. And I got corrected on my I think Gangsta Grandma might have been the one that corrected. Somebody corrected me on that. And I'm like, she don't know what the fuck she's talking about. There is no evidence that Hillary Clinton ever said that. There is no evidence whatsoever that Hillary Clinton herself ever suggested Obama was born somewhere else. He made that up. He literally, and he said, you heard earlier, he said John McCain as well. Just made that stuff up. That is not true. John McCain has never accused Obama or suggested Obama was born somewhere else. So he's just making up shit. Anyway, looking in the comments, how much taxes you think you're spending on a food bill? You got to pay them. You got to pay taxes regardless. And okay, I guess you guys are talking to each other on that one. Be honest, Tim, your show will be about Trump in 2028. He made you famous. Well, no, if Trump is not around, it'll be about what's going on. Fact is, Trump gets involved in shit because we had a show the entire time Biden was in office. We were talking about Biden and Biden's economy. I had a lot of MAGA viewers watching. But Trump was constantly coming up because he kept interjecting himself in shit. Trump did not go into citizenship and remain quiet. He's been injecting himself in presidential races, gubernatorial races, he won't shut up. So of course he makes the news. Nobody's making him go out there and say all kinds of wild shit. He likes to do it. Let me go back to the box. We'll go to Twisted. Good evening, Twisted. Welcome to the program. Living rent-free, as you heard on the All the Smoke podcast. Do you believe Obama is living rent-free in Trump's head? Are you there?
What? Hold on.
Give him a second.
Hey, Jim, hey.
Yeah. And by the way, slanging and banging, I'm not even for sure that was Obama's brother. So you say Obama's brother lied. Yeah, I'm not even for sure that was his brother they talked to. That's just something they told you. You got something on in the background. You got to cut that. Your background's loud there, Twisted.
Yeah, I am sorry. Yeah, I was on the phone, so sorry about that.
Okay. You want to come back or you still on it?
No.
Okay. What brought you up? What brought you up?
Let's see. Well, in the background, you got Trump putting his hand on the greatest president in the world. Obama is
Obama is not the greatest president in the history of the world. Really?
Yes.
No,
yes.
That's not true.
Yes, he is.
What has Obama done to? What has he done to get that title?
Look at the thing that he just made, the commissary thing in Chicago.
Every president gets a presidential center or presidential library. That ain't nothing new. Trump's going to get one in southern Florida.
They took his name off the of the building. What else is new?
Trump is going to end up when Trump is out of office, they're going to end up building him a presidential library in Florida. Every president gets that. What has Obama did to make you say he's the best ever?
Because he knows how to talk to people. He's not a shyster person. He doesn't wave his hands around. His fingers are not like sausages.
What the hell does that got to do with being the best? I think you believe that Trump sucks, and you're trying to indicate that Obama's better than Trump. We can have that conversation, but saying he's but you're trying to say he's the best.
Trump has fingers as pork sausages. All right. His
his ankles are fat. Trump is walking on 2 legs, and the man is evil.
Evil?
He's walking on 2 legs.
Evil?
Yes, evil.
Why do you say Trump is evil?
Well, he's the leader of the cult family. Like, you know, Trump is the leader of, you know, the MAGA movement. Like, what else is there to say? Like, you know, evil follows the leader. So
when you say he's the leader of the cult movement, are you saying that everybody that wears this hat, my beloved MAGA, are you saying that all of them are cult members?
Can you sign in to vehicle before driving?
Yes, they are all cult leaders. Yes.
That ain't true. There are legitimate reasons to vote for Trump that have nothing to do with being in a cult.
No, I think you might have it a little bit. I think you like to try to sum it up where that it's not really all that bad to wear a MAGA hat, and then you're like, I would say, Tim, you have a thing where you like to try to recruit people for MAGA on the program.
Recruit people? What the hell is this? The local Navy base? We're not trying to recruit anybody.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God!
It is the local naval. So
we're not recruiting, Twisted. We're not doing. And thank you, Debo, for the hat mustache. We're not recruiting. What we're doing is giving each politician credit if they deserve it and criticism if they deserve that.
And you get so tickled every time when Trump is doing something, or you start sweating out like everything because you really adore this man. See? Look at
what?
The smile. See? Look at the smile on your face.
You're telling me I adore Trump when half of my MAGA audience thinks I'm a fucking libtard. I don't get that. I don't adore any candidate or any politician. I give them credit where they deserve it. I give them criticism where they deserve that.
As of right now, Trump deserves a package of some diapers, some hangs, you know, sent to his
a package of diapers and hangs. What are you saying? The man is incontinent?
Probably.
Oh my God. There is no evidence to suggest that Trump can't hold his bowels.
I believe there's evidence, yeah.
I have not seen any evidence to suggest that man can go and stand in front of a crowd for 2 hours. He can hold a schedule a hell of a lot longer and later than Biden. So if Trump is incontinent, then what the hell was Biden? Because the Democrats thought he could run another 4 years.
Well, we basically need either Obama back, or we need somebody who's actually going to help the people and not lead us into a third world country type of a war, though. So,
well, we got Trump in office for nearly half of his term. Do you think America is coming close to being a third world nation?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
How so?
Yeah.
How?
Well, we're starting wars for no reason. His cabinet is almost gone. His cabinet is almost all men, and there's no women. And just like as I told you once before, Trump doesn't want no females. If you are going to be on my administration, Trump wants your soul, your blood.
Damn.
He wants your life. He
Well,
says, I will own you. Regardless of who your family is, I will own you. That's how Trump works.
Well, he does seem to own the people around him. But when you say we starting wars under Trump, I'm going to tell you, starting wars is about as American as apple pie. America has a history of starting wars, so that ain't something unique to Trump. That's going to happen. Whoever takes over after Trump, they're probably going to start a war or some kind of conflict. That's just something we do to maintain dominance and superiority. I mean, Trump has done it a little bit more or more braggadocious, but it ain't like other presidents in the past weren't doing shit to her.
Well, hard to say, but it's why here like is a prime example. Why do you think that they are fighting so hard to try to get whatever is after the Epstein files, and also that nobody doesn't know where Tina Pierce has went to.
Yeah,
That's your prime example.
The Tina Pierce story is interesting. We'll have to see how that turns out. But I don't believe the deflection from Epstein, which is what a lot of people on the left are saying. I don't believe nobody cares about the Epstein files. I think we've seen plenty of evidence to suggest nobody cares about that stuff.
And I don't know. We got a year and 3 more years of the shit, man. We don't even know what are we up against, though. As I said, his administration is pure insane.
How about this, though?
If you want to be with...
In the comments, Stevie D says, no, it is your party that is actively voting in socialists. And we've seen how that's going. He's saying that it's the Democrats that are putting these socialists, some even say communists, in places of power, and they're trying to destroy the foundation of this country. How do you respond to that?
Well, first things first, the Democrat Party is not doing anything, okay? The Democrats are actually going to try to get things back on track instead of leading us into other wars and making the cost of everything go up. One way or another, you will feel it, either with your family, your cousins, or anybody that you know of.
It
will affect you in many different in many different types of the ways, though. So regardless if you feel that way or not, though.
Has Trump done anything good in your eyes?
I guess I don't know how he got Melania, but that's about it.
Oh my God. Money is how he got Melania. That was easy to answer. He got, if Trump did not have him, if he was Donald J. Trump, the bus driver, he would not be with Melania Trump. Money is what got him Melania. So, but you in the comments,
right.
But Smokey in the comments say, is that even a good thing that he got Melania Trump?
I think he got Melania because he said, "Hey, I'm going to be the president one day. We are all evil people. I want you to be part of this evil organization. You will be the front lady. You will control certain things. Hey, so."
Before I'm moving on from you, go ahead. Before I'm moving on from you, I want to ask you a question. This is coming from one of my commenters on YouTube. Patrice, I think it says Patrice Ramsey says, the only war that Obama started was just being black. And these racists showed us who they really are. Obama lives rent-free in the orange Cheetos head. Do you agree with any of that?
Okay, so is that a lady that made that comment?
Yeah, she says the only war Obama started was just being black, and these racists showed us who they really are, and that Obama lives rent-free in the head of the orange Cheeto. What say you?
So that's a stupid comment.
Ooh.
She's probably MAGA.
Really?
And
What?
And
What?
and also that the
What?
question that the question that you should be asking yourself, you are in line of helping Trump. Guess who's paying for this war? We are. Like, our taxes are going to pay for this war. How stupid can you be? And for you making that comment, I would run a train on like her.
I gotta go. I gotta go. Twisted, thank you for coming through. I was not expecting that ending. I gotta move on. Twisted, thank you for coming through. Do not run trains on innocent people. Tap the screen. Holy shit. I wasn't expecting that. This is the hell of a show sometimes. Tap the screen, by the way, and get the likes up to 115,000. We'll try not to run a train on any of the viewers. Jesus Christ. Patrice is not MAGA. I don't know if he didn't understand that. That is about as a liberal of a comment as you can get. She is on the same side as my last caller. Maybe he just didn't hear it. Shirt 14 says, Dev, that one got me. Yeah, the ending got me too. But I'm assuming, Patrice, that the caller didn't hear you, didn't understand your comment because you guys are on the same side. I'll repeat her comment once more for folks who didn't hear it. She says, the only war that Obama started was just being black. And these racists showed us who they really are. Obama lives rent-free in the orange Cheetos head. She is on his side 100%. That was some, yeah, Blue One Banks. That is absolutely a definition of friendly fire if I ever saw one. That's like an F-14 or better yet, an F-18 firing on a F-22. I mean, that's about as much friendly fire as you can possibly get there. Looking in the comments, if you had Trump's money, you wouldn't be asking for money on YouTube, says Royal One Stop. Bullshit. Let me tell you something. What you're saying makes sense on face value. If you had Trump's money, you wouldn't be running a program on YouTube. That makes sense at face value. But I would push back by saying, if you had Trump's money, you would be selling Bibles and fucking tennis shoes and some of the Trump is selling, fucking counterfeit phones and shit. His Trump phone is nothing more than a HTC phone from 2024. They took it apart, looked at the guts, and this phone he's selling for all this extra money was nothing more than an outdated HTC phone from 2 years ago. So your point that if you had his money, you wouldn't be doing this, I would submit to you President Trump as a rebuttal. He has generational infinite wealth, and he's out here selling bullshit stuff. All kinds of bullshit. Them NFT cards featuring him with lasers and shit coming out of his eyes. What the fuck is that? So the idea that, well, if you had his money, you wouldn't be doing it, go tell that to him. Did you ever think you'd see a guy who claims to be worth $15 billion coming down a golden escalator selling bullshit like that? Go tell it to him, and then your comment might make a little bit more sense. Tap the screen, get us up to 115. We'll take the next caller. Trump has Trump's money, and he's posting all kind of nonsense on Truth Social. Yeah, Trump is doing all kinds of things you would not expect a person with his wealth to do. Remember, he was the guy that we could count on to drain the deep state, expose the corruption, and we didn't have to worry about Trump being bought because he had his own money. And he was so devoted to making America great again, he wasn't even taking a salary. He was going to be the first president we ever had in there where we knew he was not in it for the money. He's not even taking a salary. He's going to let his kids run his business. Remember all that bullshit? To quote the famous Kool Moe Dee, how you like me now? Do you remember when he said all that bullshit? Do you think he's living up to any of that now? Not taking a salary, and he's having all kinds of shit built in his honor and stuff like that. Do you think he's living up to any of that? But I thank you for your comment anyway about the YouTube. Appreciate the input. As I said, we don't black ban or censor. You can criticize the host. It's absolutely beautiful to see a black brother show love and support to Trump. There is many of us, says Debate EV 2093. I'd be curious if you wanted to debate, come on over to Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, or Clapper. We bring you up live. I enjoy talking to Black MAGA or Blagga or whatever they want to call it. We do bring you up. We don't limit your time or censor you for your political opinion. We do bring you up. I can bet you that I can bet you that it's his son Barron marketing the merch. I don't know, but they all making money. I'm pretty certain after Trump's term, when you got a more unbiased IRS, you're going to find out that all of his family members, particularly his children, made a whole lot of money off of his presidency. Remember the 10% to the big guy? Hunter Biden was allegedly making money off of Biden. And I believe he was. I believe Hunter Biden made money off his dad, but nothing like the Trump kids. Nothing like the Trump kids. I don't think any of the Trump children have made even as low as 10 times what Hunter Biden made. I think if you tried to find one of the Trump children that made 10 times what Hunter Biden did, you wouldn't be able to find one. All of them have made more than that. Take what Hunter Biden made off of his dad and multiply it by 10, and that's going to be less than what each one of those children made individually under Trump. Each one of those Trump kids. And you don't hear MAGA saying a damn thing about that. Looking in the comments, and that's what you call white privilege, says I don't know if I would call it white privilege. Look, MRC, Obama's kids were too young at the time to do it. But I do believe if you had an older African American that was president, their kids would make some money off the presidency. I don't think they would grift like Trump. In fact, I don't think any of the previous presidents grifted like Trump. But I think all of their families make some money off of it. But Trump is taking it to a whole new level. And the reason why I say I don't think it's white privilege, because Jesse Jackson, who has never been president, his son became a congressman in Illinois, and he ended up doing time for making illegal money off the office. We can talk about Kwame Kilpatrick in Detroit. There's a lot of black politicians that have became powerful, and they did some crooked shit as well. In fact, the former mayor of New York, the one that served before Mamdani, he's left the country because there was so much corruption orbiting around that guy. There's plenty of African Americans. They just don't get at the presidential level, or maybe not even as governor. But they make mayors and senators. Carol Moseley Braun was an African American woman from Illinois. She was a senator. She had to bow out due to corruption. There's plenty of black politicians that reach high levels and they do corrupt shit too. So it ain't just white privilege. If you get that job, the job itself is privilege. That job is privilege. Looking in the comments, why they're called Black MAGA than just MAGA? It's a great question. I know where you're going with it, and I don't have an answer for that. That is a great question. Why don't you just call them MAGA? Why they got to be? Yeah, it's a good. That's a good question. No, they can't be audited, right? No, that didn't work, Tammy. I think they threw that out. But you are right. They did try to make it so they could not be audited. But even if they can't be audited, there's still a way to find out. I mean, you can look at what the Trump children filed for their worth or their personal value was in what Trump became president again in January of 2025. I'm not even, his first term they made money too, but not like the second term. But Ivanka and Jared Kushner made a ton of money off his first term. But all you had to do is look at what they reported as their value before Trump became president and their value of what they reported after Trump became president. You don't need to audit anything in the middle to figure out how they made the money or who they cheated or whatever. Just look at what they reported as their worth before his presidency and what they're reporting as their worth after this presidency. And that's all you really need to know. That'll show you, and that probably won't be honest. That probably won't be totally accurate, but it'll still show you a huge disparity. It'll show you a huge disparity of what, certainly like Barron Trump, who's only like 20 years old, There's no legitimate reason why he's making that kind of money. Drone contracts and all this shit. There's no legitimate reason why how he should be getting that kind of money other than all kinds of insider trading information and stuff going on. He shouldn't be making that kind of money. So it would be easy to find out. Tim, I thought family was off limits. What do you mean? Travelman, what do you mean by family is off limits? If the family is committing crimes, they ain't off limits, especially if they're adults. Let me go back to the box. We'll go straight to Travelman. Good evening, Travelman. Welcome to the program. What do you mean by family off limits?
I was just being sarcastic how, they be going after the Obama kids sometimes. If you say anything about Trump kids, everybody MAGA get up in arms about it,
I think,
that's all.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand your point. I think that there is a lot of hypocrisy because when you look at how MAGA acted when folks made jokes and took light of Charlie Kirk's assassination, and then the minute people started dropping dead and Trump started talking about I'm glad they're dead, like with Mueller and stuff, MAGA went suddenly quiet about it. It was wrong to talk. It was wrong to celebrate the death of somebody until Trump started doing it, and then suddenly MAGA was like, well, they were trying to prosecute him. I mean, so it is a lot of hypocrisy there.
What's your topic for the day? What that say?
Living rent free in Trump's head. Did you see the All the Smoke podcast featuring Obama?
Yeah, I saw parts of it.
Now,
he's not. You can't. Well, I don't think you could say rent free, because he basically got an Airbnb up in there or. What they call them? A penthouse. So he living mortgage free, not rent free.
Obama referred to it as a suite.
Not just in Trump's head, in the entire Republican/MAGA head.
Yeah.
He's actually moved Hillary Clinton out. Hillary Clinton resided up there for years.
Yeah.
For decades.
That is true.
For decades.
But I understand Hillary Clinton because Hillary Clinton was genuine competition to Trump. I mean, in the 2016 they were competitors. Obama's never been a competitor of Trump, so I don't understand why he's still going after Obama. They never were competitors.
Because the truth of the matter is, and like I said, Obama pissed me off like 3 months into office. Okay,
what'd he do?
But he was too nice. He kept trying to reach across.
What you want? What you want? You want the first black president? You want the first black president to be Suge Knight?
No, not Suge Knight. But when you reach across multiple times and they constantly slap your hand away, okay, then it's time to say, okay, I'm done. And he invited him to the White House to watch Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, one time. He wouldn't even go to that.
Well, he was
totally disrespected the man for the whole 4 years he was in office.
Yeah, true, but he was trying to take the route of Martin Luther King. I'm sure Martin Luther King got disrespected the whole time he was in office. He was doing what he was doing as well, fighting for civil rights. But he believed in turning the other cheek. He didn't return fire. And I think that's the path that Obama has been taking, is that, look, I'll just prove my value and prove my worth despite the naysayers.
Well, when Obama left office, you really didn't hear from him.
True.
Trump basically forced this man to come out and start defending himself. You did not hear anything from him for months. Everybody talking about, well, Obama, he out there down
surfing,
enjoying his new life with Richard Branson and stuff, Yeah. But the other part is that Obama is very popular around the world.
True.
And Trump has done things on the world stage that, to be honest with you, makes him look damn near incompetent. Okay.
Give me an example of something. Give me an example of something. Hold on. Give me an example of something. Now I know he's done. Hold on. He's done things that make himself unpopular. He's cussed out and said all kinds of bad shit about everybody. But what has he done to make himself look incompetent?
You don't have the cards.
That didn't age well.
Okay. Both him and J.D. Couch Humper attacked the president of another country that was at war with a much larger country with a superior military, and they verbally browbeat this man in the Oval Office, and he still held his own. And now they're bombing shit in Russia.
Yep.
Now they are the test lab
for drones
and have came up with all the stuff with drone warfare and remaking asymmetrical warfare and all that good stuff. They're the ones now the other people are saying, you know what? We don't think Russia can win this thing now.
Yep.
You know? And we have not provided, we may have gave them intelligence, but other than that, we haven't provided anything to them. And we haven't supported Ukraine in the last year. The $100 billion they got was from the European Union.
Yeah,
Okay,
what really sucks.
So,
Yeah, what really sucks is if the Ukraine turns out victorious, they are not a country that we can say they owe us a bunch of favors. They're gonna owe us a lot less favors because of what Trump has did, and they may end up being victorious.
If we would have stuck with them, private business, i.e. construction, I would have made billions of dollars rebuilding Ukraine. Now, you take that and you go over on the other side of the world where we attacked Iran after we obliterated their nuclear, uranium and other stuff dealing with their nuclear apparatus. And now we can't even, we trying to extricate ourselves out of that and basically giving them everything they want. Yeah. We have not allowed Iran to sell their oil on the open market since 1979.
And now they can't. In the comments, Ruben Rubino is saying, Tim, they using weapons they got from us. He's talking about the Ukraine. Not anymore. That was happening under Biden. We haven't given under Trump. We haven't given them weapons in 2 years. That stuff's expended. They're not using. Yeah, they're defending themselves with weapons they're getting. Either they're making themselves like drones, or that they're getting from European nations. America ain't doing much of anything for the Ukrainians anymore. I don't even know if we're giving them intelligence or surveillance anymore. We ain't doing nothing for them.
Tim, they're even developing their own long-range missiles that they're using to reach over into Moscow.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, and the advances that Russia did make, they started making when Noah Johnson decided, and the rest of the Republican Party decided they wanted to withhold funding to the Ukraine. Remember when they did that for 6 months?
Yep.
And that's when Russia started making the advances, because Ukraine was over there counting down bullets and shit because we had withheld all the funding. Yeah. Over bills that the Republicans couldn't even pass their own freaking bill.
But how about this?
Now we over there.
How about this? In the comments, Cedric Haney says, and why should we in the first place? In other words, why should we help the Ukrainians? What say you?
Obviously, that's somebody that he's definitely isolationist if he believed that we should not help the Ukrainians, because if Russia was able to overrun the Ukraine, they would not have stopped. They'd went right into the Baltic states, which is much smaller.
I
kept going.
I don't even know if I would agree it's isolationism anymore, because you got the same MAGA folks.
How about stupidity?
Well, we can have that conversation. But you got MAGA folks, the same MAGA folks that are suggesting we shouldn't do anything for the Ukrainians and, we should focus on home, have no problem with the thought of taking over Greenland, taking out Maduro in Venezuela, attacking Iran. Therefore, all of the stuff that Trump is talking about doing, Cuba next, they ain't complaining about none of that. But suddenly we should stop helping the Ukrainians. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and then you got this dude say, oh, did you love that Obama said every kid needs a gay friend? We're talking about Ukraine. I don't give a damn that Obama said every kid needs a gay friend. See, that's that culture war bullshit they've been going on for the last 8 or 9 years.
It works.
They are experts at culture war.
It
don't
works.
Nobody give a damn.
Yeah, it works. People do give a damn.
Because MAGA is suffering from head up Trump's ass syndrome, and they start spewing this bullshit like this. When we're trying to have a discussion, an actual discussion about the lack of assistance that the U.S. has given other countries and how Trump looks incompetent and like he don't know what the hell he's doing on the world stage, and other countries are laughing at us. Even Georgia Maloney, she got in his butt because he talking about she was begging for a picture.
Yeah, but there is a huge. It works because there is a large portion of this country, and I'm not just talking about MAGA or Republicans, I'm talking about independents and some Democrats too. They don't like the LGBTQ community, so they keep bringing this type of stuff up. These culture wars or social issues. That stuff works. It actually does work.
They know because they know the Democrats fall into it and start discussing it. See, Tim, I'll be honest with you, I don't really discuss it because I don't want to hear jack shit about trans people because it don't affect my life. It don't affect my kids. It don't affect my grandkids, and it don't affect my great grandkids. Okay, I don't want to hear. There is no kids ain't no kids going to school and coming back home. Go to school as Johnny and come back home as Susie. That shit ain't happening. It's stupid. For people to repeat it, it's straight up stupid. And there are no are kids having transitional surgery? Kids 8, 9, 10, 11 years old? You know what that's like? That's like when they say, well, Democrats, they believe in abortion right up until birth. Okay? How stupid does that sound? That's called murder.
Yeah.
Infanticide. But they keep repeating that same bullshit. Meanwhile, we got the Middle East on fire, or was on fire. We look like a toothless tiger because we went against a country that has never been conquered. Iran has never been conquered. They do not give up.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and look what we did.
Well, but Trump has his supporters convinced that Iran was not only days away from getting a nuclear bomb, but they were going to use it on us. So if you believe that, then I can understand why you would support Trump over any liberal, because he just saved millions of lives.
That's a lie.
I'm just saying.
That's a lie. That's a lie. What millions of lives did he save? Because they you know what we did do? We have caused hundreds of thousands of innocent people to die.
True.
Because we got rid of the USAID. Now we did do that. We did going to cause come January the 1st when the SHIT hit the fan from that bill they passed and people can't afford the health care and they start getting dropped out Medicaid because they're cutting $90 billion a year from Medicaid and X amount of hundreds of $millions per year from SNAP. Now we are doing damage that way, but the Iranians, what could they do to us? They didn't have a missile that could reach the United States. They didn't even have the vehicle to get a missile to the United States. So what were they doing? And until we withdrew from the JCPOA, their uranium was at 3-point-some%. They were being inspected.
Well, they're going to believe Trump when Trump says the deal was dumb and then Iran was not allowing proper inspection. I mean, Trump is going to take that deal apart.
Well,
he may say things that are not accurate, but Mac is going to believe that.
It's not accurate, Tim. It's called lies. You can call it what it is. It's called lies.
We got to look out for it. We can't disrespect the president, Travelman.
He disrespect everybody else. Tell me a day that goes by where Trump hasn't insulted somebody. See,
that would be hard.
MAGA want to dish it out, but they don't want people to come back at him. You know, because that's what he used. Because he's a bully. He's a. In my neighborhood, we say, get your punk ass out of here. You know, Tim, you from Chicago, and that what they would have told him.
Yeah, I mean, there's some bullies that flourish, though. I mean, some bullies are able to flourish.
Yeah, you got one in the White House.
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree. He's a bully. Let me ask you this question. This is a poll I've been running. 260 some odd respondents so far. The question is, if the Democrats win the midterms, will Trump try to interfere? Maybe not try to certify some of the wins or something. Do you think that Trump would try to, because all of the political analysts are expecting the Democrats to do very well in the midterms. If that happens, do you think Trump will try to interfere, or will he let the will of the people be?
personal take on it, Trump, is that right now, over the last 18 months, especially over the last year, and I usually don't curse too much on your show, but he has fucked up the country so bad. The Republican Congress has totally capitulated to this dude. As I told you before, they have been denutted. They're eunuchs. I would not be surprised if the blue wave is more than that. Even with the gerrymandering that they've done, I believe that there's a good possibility that the Democrats could come out of this controlling both houses of Congress. I really do believe that. That's how pissed off people are right now. And that's how motivated. See, it's not just Democrats. Where they're going to lose it is the independents. They have totally lost the independence.
I got a lot of MAGA that are happy, Travelman. I got a lot of happy MAGA on here. MAGA ain't leaving. MAGA's very happy with Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, but MAGA is not going to provide enough votes. If you got Democrats, independents, I think, is the largest voting bloc in the country.
Yeah.
So if you got Democrats who was highly motivated, you got independents who's also motivated, but they're also pissed off because they voted for this dude once before, and he totally blew it out his ass. And now, and not only that, what has the Republican Congress did? What investigation have they had? What questions have they asked? What kind of pushback, besides the ones that are actually leaving office because he ran against, he put people up against them? They're the only ones pushing back. What kind of pushback, resistance since January of 2025 have the Republican Congress gave Trump?
Well, I got a viewer with pushback for you. He's saying LOL, he's laughing at you, says, how the hell did Trump fuck up the country exactly? You said Trump fucked up the country. By the way, folks, help your boy out the hat and mustache TikTok cap goes if you will. He's disputing your claim that Trump fucked up the country. MMA Fighter says, how the hell did Trump fuck up the country?
Well, let's see. Where can we start at? Well, okay.
Let me count the ways is what you're saying?
I just right off the bat, he started a war that we didn't need, which caused the price of gas to go up. But inflation was already higher than it was before the war, and it was higher than it was when he came into office. He started a trade war against the world, all right, which caused also prices to go up.
Yeah.
He basically shut down the renewable energy section of the country. So he buying out freaking wind farm companies. So now we're not even in the running for dominant renewable energies. China kicking our ass on that. All right. He has taken a new ship, an aircraft carrier, and kept it deployed for almost a year, which throws off the whole freaking rotation of the carrier fleet. Now the Gerald Ford is going into the yards, and it'll be in there for 2 years at least after the first cruise. Okay. What else has he done? Oh, he's basically killed U.S. citizens. He's tried to deploy the military onto U.S. streets. He lied about that. We still got the National Guard freaking patrolling the new swamp, which is in D.C. now. Okay, he's defaced the Kennedy Center. All right.
Okay, we get the point. He's done a few things. Your question. I got to move it on.
Let me do this though. He dismantled USAID over some bullshit. Okay, over total lies. He dismantled NPR, PBS.
They're okay with that. They think NPR just leans. It's just a liberal network. They're okay with doing that.
But they reach. Voice of America reaches the rest of the world, and a lot of the country listens. Rural parts of the country listen to NPR. Okay, he fucked up NOAA. he has pretty much fucked them up. See, now you got me cursing, Tim.
All right.
He's pretty much
He's done a few things. Yeah, he's done a few things you don't like. I do got to move it on. I don't disagree with a lot of that.
I mean, it's what he did. He all the lawyers have left damn DOJ. FEMA has a brain drain. The FBI has a brain drain. We got a freaking house builder trying to be the ODNI. Okay, he don't know what the hell he's doing, but he going there laying off people. Okay, everything is running hunky dory in the country. Oh, we got a green pool too, which is the new swamp.
I gotta go. That's your President Troubleman. Thank you for coming through. You know, that's a long ass list. Sorry about that. I didn't tap the screen. The likes up. Liberal, you playing devil's advocate says, what is it? Doria Cava or something. You know, sometimes we do. We have to both sides of the Doria Cava. I think that's what that says. He answered the hell out of my questions, Letter Cruz. He did. Evil B. Babu says Trump messed up the country as soon as he got in office. That's how he messed up. What kind of ignorant question is that? Well, one of the viewers wanted to know, how did Trump mess up the country? And that viewer, MMA Fighter, says Obama himself and Joe Biden and every president that preceded Donald Trump all said Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. True, that is true, but the way they addressed the prevention of Iran from having a nuclear weapon is different than the way Trump did it. For instance, the JCPOA, the Obama deal that Trump threw out the window, that was achieved through diplomacy. President Obama took 3 years, if you listen to him, it took 3 years to complete the JCPOA. What is that? The Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, I think it's called, the JCPOA, Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. Took 3 years. And the JCPOA under Obama featured partners like the UK, France, Germany, China, Russia, big power players. What Trump is doing, maybe Israel, and Israel has even said they're not really agreeing to what he did. It's just really a few Arab nations in the region. That's it. There's no power players involved with what Trump did. So, yeah, the other presidents were saying that we need to make sure Iran doesn't get a nuclear weapon, but they were addressing it through diplomacy. Trump just came in there and decided, well, I'm going to kill everybody. And the results of what Obama did versus what Trump has done are stark. Look at the price we've paid for Trump getting his deal. 13 dead service personnel, all sorts of aircraft, Little Bird helicopters and Black Hawks and fucking cargo aircraft have been shot down. We lost an F-18. No, that's going to be hundreds of millions of dollars worth of aircraft. We lost 13 bases at least in the region that have been ruined completely. That's going to be tens of millions of dollars for all the bases we've lost. Not to mention all the weapons we used on Iran. That's going to be hundreds of millions of dollars, all of the Tomahawks and Patriot batteries, all the shit we used on Iran. All of that is the cost we've paid to get the Iran deal with Trump. Not to mention now we've also paid billions of dollars extra in fuel and consumer goods in this country because of them fucking with the Strait of Hormuz. We paid a ton of money to get Trump's deal. What did it cost us to get Obama's deal? That was done by diplomacy versus force. Emails, a few face-to-face meetings, some handshakes, and a signature. Didn't cost any, even if you want to throw in the $1.7 billion, compared to the money spent under Trump's deal, which is going to be hundreds of times what we're talking about under Obama. When you factor in the money we spent in the U.S. economy, paying more for gas and all this other shit, the damages done worldwide, the damage to friendships, 13 dead service personnel, all of the ordnance and missiles and shit we lost, all of the aircraft. It's going to be hundreds. It's going to probably be 100 times that 1.7 that Obama allegedly sent. And as I have stated before, I strongly believe if you could have a deity come down, this is completely fictional. Let's say you had a deity, God, Jesus, whatever you want to say, and they came down and told President Trump, I'll give you the ability to rewind time back to late February before this began if you will allow me to take $1.7 billion out of your own bank account. I think Trump would do it. He would give his own money to go back and undo all this shit. He would give $1.7 billion of his own money to go back and undo this. So I still to this day do not understand why people are trying to suggest that Obama's deal was worse than Trump's. And I've only pointed out how much money we've lost. I haven't told you how much money Iran has gained. $300 billion coming from somewhere. If you listen to the Trump administration, was not coming out the taxpayers' money like Obama's deal did. Who gives a fuck? It's $300 billion extra that Iran has access to that they did not before Trump did this. Not to mention the language indicates that in 60 days they can start charging fees to go through the Strait of Hormuz. And as my last caller rightfully pointed out, not since the 1970s have they been able to trade and sell oil on the world market. They've made a fortune since they met Trump. Trump has been the best thing for Iran financially this century, and probably the last century as well. So I don't understand how folks are trying to suggest that Obama's deal is worse than Trump's. I just don't make any sense to me at all. All of the money around, Iran's GDP is allegedly around $300 billion. So that means thanks to Trump, their GDP is going to more than double. The GDP of that country is going to more than double thanks to Trump. I think they might be able to buy a nuclear missile by the time this is over with. Anyway, looking in the comments, wait, I haven't watched your show in a while, but you're making so much sense to me. You're not blinded by MAGA. That's Jizzle. I like that name, a little bit of Jizzle. I'm an independent and I will vote for whoever is the best candidate. I don't see the Republicans running a candidate I would ever vote for again after this disaster, says our homeboy Goose. And that is a problem, is that I think the Republican Party has kind of let Trump fundamentally change their party. To me, if you love Trump, you love Trump. Fair enough. But if you don't like the direction Trump is taking the country, I believe it's kind of like he's taking a direction that's so far outside of the beaten path that it'll be kind of like, you ever heard of a club or a bar that has a lot of fights in it, a lot of violence? And the only way it can remain in business is that the new owners have to change the name of it, because the old name is just associated with all of the riffraff that used to be frequenting the bar or the club. They have to actually change the name. I think the Republican Party could be in that predicament, where they actually have to start calling themselves, trying to disassociate, going forward in the future. We got to find a way to make folks know we are traditional Republicans and we are not MAGA. Some kind of way. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say they're going to change the name of the Republican Party, but I do believe they will have to make some kind of concerted effort if this goes south like it seems to be going, that in the future they can because the Hispanic vote, you're never going to get Hispanics again talking Make America Great Again. What they've done to the Hispanic vote, which was a better voting class for MAGA than the African American vote, for instance. They did better with Hispanics, like the Cubanos and Venezuelans. Those folks are never going to vote for anything talking like MAGA again. That's over with. So the future of the Republican Party, if they want to get back the immigrant vote, they're going to have to make it clear we are not like those people, because the MAGA side of the aisle just went through and tried to get rid of every avenue possible for immigrants to come or even stay here, even up to and including sponsorships and shit like that for educated immigrants. They've even went at that stuff. They started out by promising a goal to get rid of rapists and murderers. We're well beyond that now. We're well beyond that. Birthright citizenship is something they're targeting. Obviously, you're hearing about that now. Asylum seekers is pretty much impossible to do now. We're way beyond illegal immigrants and criminals. There's all sorts of legal ways to come to America that the Trump administration has either gotten rid of or seeking to get rid of. They're now trying to revoke citizenship and green cards. People who not only came here legally but paid a fortune to do so and took years to accomplish. They're even going after them folks now. So I do believe in terms of the Hispanic vote, they're going to have to essentially convince the Hispanic population going forward that what we represent going forward is not what was going on back in 2026. We're not that party anymore. Otherwise, that voting block is gone. Looking in the comments, Obama's deal wasn't worse, and we all know it. Trump lied and says that, and MAGA regurgitates the Trump lies, says Stephen Francis. They do believe Trump's deal is better. They didn't stop them from making nothing first. They say they destroyed it. Underground, stop listening to the lies. Yeah, they haven't stopped. The nuclear program with Iran. I mean, Trump is even saying they deserve to have missiles. Keep in mind, missiles are what they would use to get a nuclear weapon here. They have to, as my last caller was pointing out, Iran doesn't have the vehicle. Even if they were able to develop a nuclear weapon, they don't have the vehicle for it to get here. They don't have the vehicle to put a warhead on that can travel the great distance to get to America. Now that Trump has indicated, well, I guess they do have to have some missiles to defend themselves, he's essentially allowing them to build a fucking vehicle. So, okay, right now, since the president doesn't want us to have nukes just to satisfy him, hold off on enriching the uranium, and they're not going to come and take the 60% enriched uranium we have, so we can pick that up. Hold off on enriching the uranium so we'll please him and make a ton of money, and let's just focus on building the delivery vehicle. So when we do decide to go back and build nukes, we'll have something ready to put them on. Because he's already said it's okay for us having missiles. He's on record saying, well, I guess they do got to have missiles. What did he say? It's unfair to tell them they can't have them and everybody else can. What kind of shit is that? So Trump has probably been better for Iran than any president in a long time. And I'm talking to my MAGA folks who think that Trump has accomplished a lot with Iran. He's enriched them significantly. He didn't get regime change. He ended up getting an administration that's even further to the right than the one he had, than the one he was dealing with. Because the kid is worse than the father, and the kid is now disgruntled because we executed his mom, his dad, and relatives and all of that shit. So the kid has far more of an incentive to be anti-American than the Ayatollah ever did. So we put in a regime that's even worse. That's even worse. So they got far greater incentive to hate America and want to develop nuclear ordnance than they ever did. And thanks to Trump, they now have the money to do so. So just keep that in mind. In the comments, we'll go back to the box with Smokey. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Democrats are just useful idiots for the CCP. Robert, look. You think the Democrats are useful idiots for the Russians. Meanwhile, Trump comes in there and prevents the Ukrainians from fighting back against the Russians. But you see the Democrats as useful idiots for the Russians. That comment is idiotic. Stick, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Man, good evening, Tim. How you doing?
Hanging around like Jesse Jackson at a Klan meeting. You know what I always say. What's going on?
Well, then that means you ain't doing good, goddammit.
I'm in the trenches. That's what this show does. Thank you, Alter Ego, for the hat and mustache. Appreciate that. Thank you.
You know, up until now, I've noticed that I just gotta say, if MAGA reacts as a troll, he don't mind looking idiotic. He doesn't. If he's a troll, he's doing a hell of a job. Boy, I don't understand how somebody can say the things that he says and don't know a damn thing. Just don't know nothing. Just, I think this and I think that, but what do you know about it? No, I don't know about it. Well, why the fuck are you saying anything? Just say, look, I don't really know about that. Jeremy says it all the time. Handsome conservatives say it all the time. Like, Gen X will say it. Like, why is all these other MAGAs saying, look, I don't really know
that. I can't really speak on that. So, let me do some MAGA, shut up.
Well, MAGA had yeah. I mean, I get the trolling comment. In defense of MAGA Reacts, he did admit that he believes his job is to defend Trump no matter what. So he did admit that he is going to defend Trump even if Trump is wrong. He admitted that.
So let me get this straight. Trump takes his diaper off, get out of the beach, takes his diaper off, and shits in the middle of the street. He gonna find a way to defend that.
Yes, they're going to say it's AI. Yeah, they're going to say it's AI. Yeah, they would defend it. Yeah, they would. I'm sure there would be plenty of MAGA that would defend that. Yes, or they would just point to Biden.
Okay. Yeah. Or he just pointed to Biden. Well, what about Biden? He fell off his bike, but he just took a shit in the middle of the street. It amazes me. I'm gonna just say it again. It amazes me that he would just put himself out there. He is a crash dummy. He is. But in the background, yes, that man lives rent free in Trump's head. Him and Biden.
Why do you think now Biden was Trump's competition in the 2020 election and things like that. I get why Trump had an issue with Biden or an issue with Hillary Clinton because they were competitors, but why is Obama nearly a decade later still being mentioned so much?
Because he's the guy that has more class than Trump, who really is not gonna say anything. He's gonna have those little what we like to call them metaphors. In rap, it's metaphors.
Yeah.
He dropped bars with metaphors.
Right.
So we know who he's talking about, but he never says his name. He never says it. So he's one of those people where Trump. So for his support, especially for his supporters, all his supporters are like that lady that stood up during John McCain's thing and said he's an Arab and all of this other.
Yeah.
That's who mainly supports Donald Trump. So he has to say, remember, these are our enemies because he's supposed to be not born here. He's supposed to be an Arab. His wife is, got man parts. Like all of this stuff has to be out there so he can constantly remind his supporters who the enemy is.
Yeah, and shout out to the late John McCain. I remember the woman there that said she wouldn't vote for Obama because he's an Arab or whatever. Shout out to the woman. Shout out to the late John McCain for correcting her on that and saying that he's a good American. We just happen to have fundamental differences. I mean, John McCain.
Right.
That's how legacy is supposed to work. Shit like that.
Right. So when you get reminded that you done said some shit that you didn't need to say, no ma'am, and he turned his back to her and started trying to talk to somebody else because to him she had done went overboard, and we can't have that. So going forward, Trump.
What are you saying? What are you saying? Trump wouldn't have took the mic out of her hand?
Oh, Trump would have let her keep going, just like the UFC fighter. He would have let her keep going.
Yeah.
If he would have had more to say, she would have had a bigger microphone. He'd have said, "Hey, hold on, wait a minute. That microphone ain't big enough. Bring that big motherfucker that we got in the bag." Yeah, that's the type of dude he is. He likes dividing. He likes having the little 30% loud and wearing hats and cultish behavior. To him, that's the reason why he let them people go for January 6th. That's the reason why he pardoned them. Well, because that was the people that was fighting for him.
Well, that's one thing about Trump. If you look out for him, he will look out for you. But the problem is you got to look out for him you got to do it forever.
Okay, yeah. I was just about to say, because the one time you say, well, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I'm a primary you.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy who
I'm threatening your family.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that you have to make him feel like he's right 100% of the time. You can't challenge anything he does, no matter how much you've done for him in the past. If you're not doing something for him right now, you're his enemy. All that stuff in the past you've done won't matter.
Exactly, and then you got Byron Donalds. He's cool with being so far away from Trump, other than being in Florida. But he's cool with being away from Trump, not being part of the cabinet. long as he can try to see if he can get this governor going, he don't care. You got Tim Scott, he's willing to fudge paperwork and take it to the Fed and be looking stupid on camera. Also, he recently said that was the most racist thing when he said, you know, the things that he say. So, like, none of them is going to be nowhere near Trump at the White House, near the White House. That's the way he wants it. He wants all white governors, and he wants all white Republican governors, MAGA governors, all the way to the point where, even at the governor, like, he don't invite nobody that ain't Republican.
You know, I'm surprised. You mentioned Senator Tim Scott. Tim Scott has challenged Trump twice. One when he posted a picture of Obama as monkeys, and the other one during his first term when Trump posted a picture of people yelling white power. In both cases, Tim Scott indicated what Trump was doing was racist. I'm really surprised Trump did not attack Tim Scott. Mr. I love you, man. I'm really surprised he hasn't went at him because he don't criticize Trump twice.
Well, he's a man, number one, and then on top of that, he's a black man that was given his position by a white woman. So he's tits. He's tits on a bull. He don't care.
Yeah, but
that's what Tim Scott is. Tits on a bull.
Yeah, but Trump don't give a fuck if you're tits on the bull. It doesn't matter how far down the chain you are. I mean, he's still attacking Rosie O'Donnell, and she don't even live in America. He'll attack you no matter who you are. So I'm surprised he let Tim Scott get away with that.
He let Tim Scott get away with it because he's okay. Let's just say it's 100 of them, right? 98% of them is white tea, and the 2% is black. That would be Byron Donalds. That would be Tim Scott. And there's no more black males. So again, yeah. So again,
is that really it? There's nobody else.
Ben Carson. I mean,
Ben Carson's out of politics. He gone.
Okay, so Herman Cain, he gone too.
Dead. Yeah, he's dead.
Gone. Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, I'm saying,
wow.
You got any names? You got any names, Tim?
I'm trying to think. Is there any other black conservatives that are in politics that are well at the national level other than Tim Scott and Byron?
I said black men. I think they got maybe one black woman, maybe. Because I want to say it's 5 total.
Wow.
In the Republican Party.
And
they're up between senators, congressmen, something like that.
It ain't. Yeah, you're right. It ain't many. I mean, it looks just like a Republican gathering. There's not like when I went to I've been to 2 Trump rallies, and I mean, it was so few African Americans. I think I counted 30. It was one of the Trump rallies I went to had about 5,000 people, and I think I counted 13. And I could see we were in like a gymnasium. Yeah, I think I counted 13. And the second time it was less than 5. I couldn't even. And one of the dudes was mixed. I couldn't find anybody. So yeah, Trump gatherings are not very. They're not very diverse.
So everybody basically goes to McDonald's, and then you had a couple of people that go to Checkers. Is what you
Yeah, Checkers is good though. Checkers is good. I haven't had Checkers in a while. Man, that sounds good.
So that's my point, right? We know about the Checkers, but everybody else going to McDonald's because you know that's the American dream. That McDonald's, that name. You know, Ray Kroc even said it. Who's going to come to a place that's named after me? The Crocs. Nah, I need you and your name. And he took them people name, the McDonald's. Yep.
And Handsome Conservative, I see you're bowing out. Appreciate you tuning in, Handsome Conservative. You have a wonderful evening, and thank you. Yeah, I don't, you know, let me ask you, why do Democrats always seem to vote? Or better yet, why do black people always seem to vote Democrat? That's an age-old question that comes from the right all the time. Why do African Americans just continue falling for what the Democrats are offering? Why don't they try and vote Republican? What say you?
Because we're not Stephen A. Smith. We're not Coonerish. The majority of us voted for Ms. Harris. We voted, yes.
I don't think Stephen A. Smith is voting Republican. I don't believe that.
Oh no, he said he wants everybody to.
Yeah, he did say that. He did say that, but I don't think his politics are conservative. I think Stephen A. Smith is just trying to maintain an audience. I think that dude votes left.
I don't know. I can't say that because he's in a different tax bracket.
True.
I don't know why he even brought up why won't we just vote for the right one time. Shut your ass up. Don't nobody need to vote for the right. The right ain't saying, well, why don't we just one time do something for the black folks?
That's a great point.
So if they can't say that, if they can't say that, why the fuck am I gonna vote for you?
That's a great point.
So shut the fuck up.
I mean,
you're not speaking.
Even though I agree with you 100%, just for shits and giggles, in defense of Stephen A. Smith, I think he was on to something. I just don't agree with what he suggested, which is just vote for the Republican Party, and then from that point on, they'll start earning your vote. I agree with you. No, they should earn your vote first. But I will say this: what he was trying to say, I would also add, is that we need to make the Democrats realize you're not guaranteed to get our votes. You need to do something to appease us as well. But I agree with you. You don't just go out and willy-nilly vote for a party that don't even recognize you. So I agree with you and him to some degree. I think that what he is suggesting, though, is wrong.
Well, it's just the same thing when they say vote blue no matter who, right? Like, you want me to vote red and just be, dead? I don't know what you want. Because they're not asking, and I mean they're definitely asking for the vote, but they're not promising the black community anything. Just vote for us. I promise you it'll be better. But you're not telling me how. Just vote for us. We're gonna get rid of the ACA, which we all know that Obamacare and the ACA is the same thing. Sometimes MAGA don't know, but just putting that out there. But we'll replace it with something better. Well, with what? You're not showing me shit.
Get your
point. Just have the baby. No, I'm just saying, just have the baby. Yeah, we ain't gonna help you once the baby get here, but we need to be having more babies. Yeah. Man, you're not asking, you're not telling us nothing that you're gonna do for us. So when you have somebody that you know is out there getting pepper sprayed and showing the people, showing up in the house and saying, hey, I need this done, I need that done, we need this and we need that, because my constituents are saying we need this and we need that, versus people that's just sitting down being quiet, not saying shit.
Well, I get your point, but I do think there were legitimate reasons to vote for Trump if you were black in 2024, because I agree with you on healthcare. He wasn't promising anything. He said repeal and replace, but he didn't tell you what the hell it is. But some of the other things he was offering, like no tax on tips, securing the border is something most Americans wanted. Getting rid of illegals that were causing, committing major felonies. Most Americans can get behind that. Some of the stuff he promised did sound really good. Cutting rent prices, cutting your energy bills in half. I mean, he promised a lot of really good shit. I understand why people voted for him.
So, okay, now you have to say, was Ms. Harris right? Yes, she was. Now you have to say, was Donald Trump lying? Yes, he was. Now you have to say, he said all of that shit just to come up and then tell you to say, hey, I don't think about that shit. I ain't thinking about nobody's wallets. I ain't thinking about that. I'm thinking about this new bullshit. Like, so again, he lied to you. Yeah. Like, you can say, oh, he promised some good shit. Okay, I can promise you motherfucking gold on the mountain right there.
But that's what they all, but stick, that's what they all do. All politicians promise you. All politicians promise you shit.
No, let MAGA tell him he's not a politician. He got his own money. He don't want our money, even though he's enriched himself over $2 billion since he got into fucking office. Like, all of this shit was a fucking lie. So if you still vote for Trump, just like Gangsta Grandma said, you like goddamn that juice that they got. I don't know how she says it, but I'm not Gangsta Grandma.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Cock in your mouth. How about that? You just like Donald Trump's cock in your mouth. That's where we at. Y'all still voting for him. I just gave you real time facts. I just told you what he told you, and you said Well, he promised this and he promised that. Yeah, he promised it, but he lied about it because ain't none of that shit came to.
Well, but they can't. But they're not voting now, Stick. They didn't know he was lying when they voted for him in 2024. You think immigrants believed that he was going to lie and do what he's done to all of the immigrants and Hispanic communities? They believed him. I got to move it on, but they trusted the man.
And see, so again, if somebody's telling you, look, man, they tell us to vote for them, but they ain't did nothing for us, what you think they gonna do to you? Then we telling you about books when there's nobody left, and that's what they're doing. They're systematically knocking down people, so there's nobody that I can turn to and say, hey, you got my back? Because guess what? He's going out the LGBTQ, he's going out the trans, he's going out the Hispanic community, he's going out to the black community, he's going out to every fucking body, all different moments, but at the same time, so there's nobody left to back nobody up. The only thing that they worried about is some shit that don't mount to a hill of beans. The same people I just said, LGBTQ, why you so worried about them? Because you're one of them. Trans, why you still worried about them? Because you might run up on one that you like. Yeah, all of this shit is the shit that they put out there, but then they the same motherfuckers that be on TV, get caught effing your dog because your wife caught you on camera effing your fucking dog, right?
That happened. Yeah, that did happen. Yeah. I gotta move it on. But
caught up in the,
real quick.
Yeah. So I was finna be like Travelman real quick and name off a whole bunch of shit. But MAGA, you know who you are. You. Never mind. Go ahead, Tim. All right.
Stick the ruler, everybody. Good talk. Tap the screen. Get the likes on up. Get us up to 140, if you will. Stick. Win Stick says Cali love. Real quick in the comments, I just wanted to address a couple comments here. Mike in the comments, where'd that comment go? I thought Mike said something that was worthy of discussing. Mike 6331 says Democrats, not Democrats. Democrats have no idea what they're talking about. Okay, I don't know what you mean. That wasn't the comment I was looking to address, but if that's your opinion, you entitled to that. I think it was Grandy's Garden who said black folks need to run away from the Democrat plantation. I want to address that comment. Before I do, though, tap the screen, get the likes up to 140,000. You guys know how the program is ran. We are MAGA friendly. Liberals are welcome as well. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. Our comments go left of Mom Donnie to I'm having dinner with Q. You can be critical of anybody on this program, including yours truly. And briefly, if you're watching us live on Instagram, TikTok, Substack, or Clapper, follow the program. We're here most weeknights, and if you're watching us on YouTube, give us a sub. We try to deliver entertaining programming in an uncensored format. So give us a sub if you're watching on YouTube. And like I said, we bring up anybody and we take comments from anyone. Doesn't matter what your politics are. You have a right to speak, and we'll try to remain uncensored as long as the apps allow us to. Happy boy with the hat, mustache, TikTok cap goes, if you will. Now, in regards to the comment made by Grandy's Garden, black folks need to run away from the Democrat plantation. My question is, run away to what? What are they going to run away from the Democrat plantation and run to? They're going to run to the Republican Party? I just said this on yesterday's live. Put 10,000 African Americans in a coliseum or an auditorium. 20,000, 30,000 of them. Hell, put 1 million of them in there. And have them tell you, I want you guys to all get together. It's 1 million of you in here. I want you to hash out what's important to this country. Give me your top 5 most concerning issues of how this country should be ran. The Republican Party, particularly MAGA, is going to be on the opposite side of all 5 of those issues. And you could do that anywhere. You could do that. You could put all of them in a coliseum in a true blue liberal city like Chicago or Los Angeles. Or you could put all of them in a red area like Tallahassee or fucking, Jacksonville somewhere. And no matter what they come up with, the Republican Party is going to be on the opposite side of those issues. So when folks suggest, well, you need to run away from the Democrat plantation, What, run to a party that don't agree with anything you're talking about? They disagree with everything you're complaining about. Why would you go to them? If the argument is the Democrats suck, so you shouldn't vote for them, we can entertain that, but you ain't gonna run to the Republican Party because they don't even care about what you stand for. They're on the other side of every fucking issue that the African American community is concerned with. And now it's probably gonna be very similar with the Hispanic community. The current version of MAGA is probably going to be on the opposite end of every important issue concerning the Hispanic community as well. But they absolutely are that way with the African American community. But in regards to a rebuttal coming from Robert Kennedy, he says, Tim has been brainwashed. Give me some examples, Mr. Kennedy. Give me 3 issues that African Americans are concerned with, in your opinion, that MAGA's also concerned with. The African American community. It's not, I guarantee you, what they come out there talking about, you're going to be on the other side of it. Obviously, anything the African American issue says about race you disagree with, and that's going to be some of their topics. You disagree with all of that shit. Any social program they come up with, you're going to be on the other side of that. Any type of issues concerning weapons or concerning the police, you're going to be on the other side of all that shit. So why would they run from the Democrats and come to your side when the left is actually in favor of some of their issues? I'm not saying the Democrat Party or the liberals are perfect, but they do agree with a lot of stuff coming from the African American community. And in the comments, Just Me says tax cuts, lower prices, and immigration. I guarantee you the way African Americans feel about immigration is different than what MAGA's doing. I guarantee you the African American community are not walking around talking about they stand with ICE. So immigration is an issue that MAGA is in a different spectrum than the African American community. The African American community may have agreed with MAGA in regards to securing the border, getting rid of rapists and murderers, but all this other shit they're doing, going up in people's houses like they're looking for Anne Frank, the African American community don't support that shit. Looks too much like Emmett Till and some of our own past. They're not in favor of that. You got that one wrong, buddy. Get rid of United, what does it say? Get rid of United Citizen, focus on poor and homeless healthcare. Do you think the African American community believes that getting rid of universal healthcare, that would be one of the biggest groups that would benefit from that? You think that Trump talking about basically putting nothing in its place is something that's going to resonate with the African American community? Somebody put tax cuts in there. Out of all of the shit the African Americans are concerned with, I guarantee tax cuts would not be in the top 5. It would not be in the top 5. There's too many poor African Americans that are, the hell they gonna say cut taxes when they need some of the social programs that the tax money is used to spend it on. The African American community is not gonna be promoting tax cuts. I can tell you that. That ain't gonna happen. So there's a bunch of other shit there. And I see in the comments, the same guy said Tim is lying about ICE. Yeah. As if you don't have a television set, huh? You think the African American community, with all the issues they've had with law enforcement, think that Alex Preddy deserved what happened to him? Or Renee Nicole Good? You think the African American community is like, yes, that's a good fucking shoot? You know, you don't have to believe anything I tell you about ICE. Turn on your goddamn TV. You can see it. You think black people are walking away saying, yay, thank God you took out Alex Preddy. He was only protesting on behalf of minorities. We finally had a white guy looking out looking out for minorities, and they happened to shoot his ass. Thank God they did. You think the African American community thinks like that? You sound like somebody who has no African Americans in your life. It's the only way you would say that. I'd rather progress forward than to stand still and stay ignorant. I like that comment, Pink Pineapple. I like that. When conservatives have done nothing but harm black communities since their inception, they're never going to stop, and people like me are tired of hearing them lie over and over again, says Dark. And I'll tell you something, for folks who talk about the Democrat Party was the party of slavery, understand that when the Democrats were pro-slavery, they were called conservatives. Understand that. That's why you always hear the Democrat Party was a party of slavery. They don't say the difference between conservatives and liberals, because the Republican Party, going against the tradition of this country, going against what the founding fathers intended, which was free and slavery, that's a progressive idea. That's not conservatism is about going with what the founding fathers intended. That's why the right is always citing the Constitution and stuff. They're always talking about the founding fathers. It's the left side of the aisle that wants to push laws and boundaries, new amendments, new rules, wants to change a lot of stuff because they believe the founding fathers got it wrong. So understand, abolishing slavery was a progressive idea. You don't hear the right talking about that. They just say Republicans. Yeah, because Republicans back then were progressives. So that's a different. You need to understand that. In the comments, he really doesn't know political history worth a shit, but easily beats his libtard callers, says Todd Miller. I'll take you, Todd. Look, let me make something clear to you folks. When I say we run an uncensored show, when I say we don't block, ban, or censor, when I say we're MAGA friendly, damn it, we mean it. If you think I'm easily beating callers, don't know shit about politics, need to be corrected, goddamn it, you come up to the program, give you plenty of time to state your case, and if you're right, damn it, at the end of the conversation, I might even tell you you made sense. We don't limit your conversation. We don't block what you have to say. If you think you know more, then come up and say it. Otherwise, shut the fuck up and talk shit in the comments where you belong. And we love having you there. You're welcome to continue talking shit in the comment section. Looking in the comments, you're a slave now to the IRS. What, did that change, Melissa? You're a slave now to the IRS? Did that change? Was I a free man from the IRS before? Let me know. I know you believe you, but you talk, what it says, I believe you, but you talk liberal, pay attention. Okay, that happens. I'm sure you would talk conservative. And we could hash it out, and I give you plenty of time to talk. He's not getting rid of universal health care. He doesn't want to give all the money to the insurance companies. You're giving it to the people. Now, I know you like that. What does repeal mean to you? Repeal and replace. What is it? I mean, Trump's in control of the Senate and the House, and it became clear he came really close to actually being able to repeal Obamacare, and he had nothing to replace it with. So when you say he doesn't want to get rid of universal health care, then what is he trying to replace it with? If you're somebody in America that has no health care insurance at all, what does Trump promise to do for you? If you don't have any health care insurance at all, or you're woefully underinsured, and you're making do with Obamacare, what has Trump came along and promised to do for you? Since you're suggesting he don't want to get rid of it. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard him suggesting he's going to do anything for those kind of people. Last I heard, he's attacking folks that's at that level. So I haven't heard anything. I think you're going overboard with that one. Hell yeah, dude. Fun fact, if you don't mess with the people that have guns, you typically won't get shot. True, I suppose. I don't know where that came from, but that's generally true. Anyhow, folks, I do appreciate the 137,000. I do got to step away. Follow the program if you will. Instagram, TikTok, Substack, and Clapper. And give your boy a sub if you're watching on YouTube. I'll see you folks tomorrow night. It's your boy Tim, the Handsome Liberal. Gotta go. Thanks.